All right. I think we're good.
We all right?
Yeah, I think we're good. What's going on, y'all? Good morning.
We live in here?
Yes, sir.
What's up,
Welcome
everybody?
to Facemask Fantasy.
Welcome to week 3.
Yeah, I mean, we got that early Thursday game on week 3, but yeah, welcome to the real NFL slate.
Yeah,
welcome
the
to
full
game
slate.
day. Yeah.
The full slate.
Welcome to Red Zone Day. This is Red Zone Day.
Right.
Let's be real. It's Red Zone Day.
Yup.
Unless you got I might be tuning into the Bills game more in the first hour, but it's Red Zone Day. But what's going on, Notorious? What's going on, Eric? What's going on, John? Iron, good to see you. Tim Shields, what's happening?
Yeah, thanks for dropping in, everybody. Whether you've been here with us, before, or this is the first time, start, sit, help. We'll be answering all questions in the chat. We just ask for a little bit of patience because the chat can get filled up with questions. Moving forward, if it helps to try to streamline your questions, not just for today, but moving through the week, we have our Discord, third link in the description of this live stream, and all of our recent videos. You can get questions streamlined in there from not just us, but the community. And also, if you like what you see from this channel, even though we're just starting out today, but if you've seen us before and like what you see, we have membership offers. You can check that out. First link in the description of this video as well. There's a practice squad offer, just 99 cents a month. You get 2 extra streams with us. You might get your questions answered a little faster with a smaller crowd, if you're interested.
Yeah, 2 extra streams a week, 8 extra streams a month. So you basically get, what's the math on that?
8 streams for 99 cents.
Yeah, it's 24 hours basically of extra fantasy content a month.
Yep. So
if you're interested. But let's get the chat started off today. Notorious. You already know, man. You already know. Eric, in Standard League, good to see you. In Standard Leagues, Thielen, Akers, Ayuk, or Palmer? Not Palmer.
No, not Palmer. And in Standard, I guess it's between Akers
and Ayuk. Probably for me.
I was going to say it's between Akers and Thielen. I think Thielen at home against the Lions, he came back to life a little bit last week. It took until the fourth quarter, but he did finally rack up some numbers. I kind of think the Vikings are in a bounce back spot at home against the Lions today. I like Adam Thielen.
I know he is a full snap player, but 5 points week 1, 7 points week 2. I know he came on a little bit in week 2.
Oh, I thought he goose-egged week 1. Maybe not.
Well, that isn't half PPR. That isn't. So in Standard, you're looking at even less points. Akers got actually more rushes and more targets than Henderson did last week. So it looks like that week 1 might have just been an aberration. So I am a little bit more forward on Akers in Standard, considering this is Standard in the flex. But I also like Ayuk because Jimmy Garoppolo's back. And
Jimmy G's
we
back.
were worried about Ayuk because of the downgrade that Trey Lance would present. Now I'm kind of like, now Ayuk, floor of 800 yards on the season, floor of a couple of touchdowns, ceiling of an 1,000-yard wide receiver with 6 to 8 touchdowns if he takes that next step forward. Third-year wide receiver. I do like Ayuk this game. Thielen, it's hard not to be worried about his start.
Sure. Older,
I know what he's done.
Coming off injuries.
32 going on 33 years old.
I don't know why. This is cutting off for me. Is it just start 1?
It's cutting off for you. What?
Is Eric just... the very top of the chat is cutting off for me for some reason. Is it start 1 for Eric or start 2?
Start 1. It's more than valid Standard, Thielen, Akers, Ayuk, Palmer in the flex.
All right, then if it's Standard, I guess I would probably just roll with Akers and hope for the best.
Yeah, and if I'm going to go a wide receiver, I would go Ayuk, Nick would go Thielen. But we would both just say, just go Akers. 15 rushes last week, a couple of receptions. He could get that again.
Just go Akers.
He might not have the red zone role, but honestly, I think the red zone role is split because they both had 3 red zone looks last week.
Yeah.
So between Akers and Henderson. So I'd go Akers. And John, good to see you. Renfro is out, so Beasley startable over Aguilar or Chark? No.
Are there any other options?
I mean, Aguilar, no Jacoby Myers. Aguilar has looked very good through 2 weeks.
Wait, no Jacoby Myers. Is he out today?
I believe Jacoby Myers is out today.
I didn't see that. Was I sleeping? He's questionable.
I thought I saw
not
Jacoby
expect.
Myers.
Oh wow! Holy hell!
Yeah,
not expected to play.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers, take him out of your lineups. Jacoby Myers is not expected to play today.
Yeah,
if you
Aguilar.
can swerve, go to Aguilar.
Aguilar, yeah. I didn't realize Myers was out.
And Aguilar is definitely a better start over Beasley. Beasley is going to get a little bit of work, but honestly, I would rather play Scotty Miller than Beasley this week.
Yeah, Beasley's not can't be relied on this week. Yeah, Aguilar without Myers. Yep.
And yeah, for me, out of those three, it'd go Aguilar, Chark, Beasley.
Yeah, it's not great, but he should have an opportunity.
And yeah, Iron, let's go. Hey, good morning, Tim. Your question is, in full PPR, do you start James Robinson, CEH, or Michael Carter in my RB for my RB2? CEH.
Clyde.
Yeah.
I like Michael Carter. I mean, all three of these guys are good players. Robinson, it sounds like Justin Herbert's going to play. So I actually think I like ETN a little bit more today.
Yep, those were my thoughts. I put Miles Sanders in for James Robinson because I saw the matchup. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Robinson is a guy where it's like if it's Robinson or J.K. Dobbins, play Robinson. But I would go Clyde. Full PPR. The Chiefs are humming. Clyde's off to a great start.
Not a full-time role player, but that's okay because the role that he plays in this offense is valuable. So his snaps and touches could go up again. First 2 weeks had to play, short week on Thursday. Running backs are going to get scaled back in that situation. We could see Clyde's usage continue to go up now that portion of the Chiefs' schedule is over. Yep. So yeah, Clyde. I do like Michael Carter, but Clyde. Me too. But I also do think it's a matter of time before the roles switch for Brees and Carter. But
yeah, I mean Carter's getting 60% of the snaps, but Clyde.
I think the talk is ticking there. Iron. Yeah. Vienna Vikings lead 17-6 in the championship game, and it's halftime. Hey, Vienna Vikings,
go, Vienna.
Man, let's go.
Let's go, Vienna.
And as far as Judy or Bateman, is Judy out or is he playing? Either way, I'd go Bateman. But
I would go Bateman because of the uncertainty around Judy.
Yeah.
Missed practice Wednesday and Thursday, returned in a limited capacity on Friday. He's going to test himself out in warm-ups. The problem is you have to wait until Sunday night. It's the Sunday night game. The Broncos are playing the Niners tonight. If he's out, then you have to pivot to somebody else in that game, like a deep flyer in that game, or a deep flyer on Monday night between the Cowboys and Giants. There's no deep flyers anywhere.
Just go Bateman. That's a really good option to swerve to. And honestly, I don't like the idea of playing Judy coming off of an injury anyway because of how injury prone he is.
Yep.
So, but yeah, man. Hey, hope those Vienna Vikings continue to kick ass.
Let's
Giovanni Castro, what's happening? Start 2
Giovanni?
PPR. Mike Williams, herbicide hurt. DK Metcalf, Rashad Bateman, and Garrett Wilson. First off, I would just love to say I love seeing Garrett Wilson in this list. I love seeing that Garrett Wilson is elevated now to the point in the minds of fantasy owners that it's a question of whether to start him or DK Metcalf or Rashad Bateman. Love to see it. But who are you going here?
First of all, don't correct yourself. We're going to roll with herbicide.
Love it.
Mike Williams has to be fired up, and I think I would go Bateman as well. DK is a great option just in a terrible offense. And I talked about this yesterday as it pertains to Wilson on the stream. I don't want to take anything away from him because he was phenomenal week 2. We just have to keep in mind that Jets-Browns ending was very fluky. The Jets got 2 touchdowns in a scenario after Nick Chubb should have fallen short of the goal line, which we have seen him do before in a game, like, fall short, go down on the ball before he actually scores to seal the game. He didn't do it. Mental lapse from the Browns. The Jets were able to score quickly on a Corey Davis broken play, and then they recovered an onside kick. And Garrett Wilson still had a great game, but what put him over the top was he ended up with 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. He needed that scenario to play out to get there. So he can still give you, 775 touch, which would be a fantastic day. But his numbers were a little inflated by that weird fluky ending. All of the Jets were. Flacco's numbers were as well, and Corey Davis's. They, broken touchdown. Again, Chubb just falls down at the 1. The game's over. Those 2 scores don't happen. Love Garrett Wilson. Happy for Garrett Wilson. I've been a big fan of Garrett Wilson throughout the offseason. I'm going to not chase those points just yet.
No. I just love to see him in this group of players being decided upon. It bodes well for his future, and it's a sign of what he's done through 2 weeks. So love to see it. But for me,
give me Mikey Dubs and Bateman.
And if Herbert doesn't play, now he is pushing to play. He's pushing to get an injection with ultrasound right into the site and just play. He got a throwing session in yesterday, so he is trending right now, I would say, to play. If we get any news to the contrary before kickoff, we will obviously let you know. But if Herbert isn't playing, then I wouldn't recommend Mike Williams. I think I would recommend Bateman. So if you are going to...
Or do you mean DK?
Huh?
Bateman's in. Do you mean DK if you don't play Mike Williams?
Oh, I see it. Start 2.
Start 2.
Yeah, DK.
Bateman and DK?
Bateman and DK. Yep.
Garrett Wilson is going to play in the early window. And Mike Williams plays late.
Is Zach Wilson playing?
No, he's potentially back next week.
Okay, so one more week that we can trust,
Flacco.
Air it out, Flacco. Yep. So Mike Williams or Bateman, but if Herbicide is not playing, and we're going to stick with that nickname, I like it, I'm going Bateman and DK.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But thanks for joining us, Giovanni, and good luck today.
Yeah.
Notorious TBG, big time stretch. All right. Do I bench Mike Williams with a possible Herb out for Gabe Davis, or do you play Williams over AJ Dillon versus Tampa Bay?
You play both of those wide receivers. Gabe is in the 1:00 window, but from last I saw, he declared himself 100% ready to go.
He had a little bit of a trip up and didn't there was some video of him in practice over the past week, and he didn't look phenomenal through some of it, but I think you still play Gabe,
and then it's easy. Both Williams and Dillon play in the late window. If Herbert is ruled in, play Williams. If Herbert is ruled out, go ahead and go Dillon.
Absolutely. The one thing about Gabe Davis, though, you have to understand is Micah Hyde is out for the season. Poyer's hurt. Dane Jackson, their number 1 corner right now, out. They are playing 2 rookies in Christian Benford and Kyer Elam. They have a couple of players on the defensive line are out, so their rotation isn't going to be nearly as heavy. Their defense is ailing. They're going to have to air it out a little bit more. You saw what Miami did in basically garbage time in the fourth quarter.
It should be a good game.
It should be a really exciting, good game. Still expect the Bills to win, but if the Miami Dolphins can carry their momentum from last game into this one, it could be a shootout.
Yeah.
Could be a shootout. So, yeah.
Fire up Gabe anyway.
Yep. All right. QB situation for Tim. You have Herbert. Do you pick up Mariota or wait it out? Or start Goff?
Wait it out. Pick up Mariota and wait it out because it sounds like Herbert's going to play. Goff is off to a great start, but I feel like it might be a little smoke and mirrors today. The Vikings, it's the first time the Lions are going on the road this year. The Vikings have 2 really good edge rushers in Zadarius Smith and Donnell Hunter. They play much better at home. I would temper expectations on the Lions offense a little bit today, not like significantly, but a little bit. Wait it out. Mariota is a uninspiring but fine pivot if you have to, but I would wait it out. Sounds like Herbert's going to work through it, and even up Herbert at 65%, you got to play him.
Both of those options, even though I do like Goff. In Mariota's box score at the end of the day, you could have a few touchdowns and then a rushing touchdown. In week 1, he had 1 rushing touchdown, no passing touchdowns. Week 2, 2 passing touchdowns, no rushing touchdown. At some point, he's going to have a game where he has both, and that's going to be the boom week for Mariota. Could be this week against Seattle.
Yeah.
So, wait it out.
Grab Mariota.
Wait it out.
Plan to play Herbert. Yep.
And Notorious TBG. In my other league, Pollard or Akers and Garrett Wilson or Hollywood Brown.
I have to go Akers over Pollard.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel
with no
great.
Dak, with Cooper Rush, Akers over Pollard.
Yeah, on the road. I have to go Akers, and then I have to go Hollywood too. Again, I am probably not going to advocate for Garrett Wilson a ton today, only because he's now being mentioned with a lot of big names, a lot of guys you drafted in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round. Hollywood's going to see Jalen Ramsey today, but he is still the unquestioned wide receiver 1 for Arizona in the time for the time being.
Could be Greg Dortch.
Well, yeah. It's still I got to give it to Hollywood. It's
still Marquise Brown. He had 11 targets last week. You fire him up again, even though
I got to give it to Hollywood. He just missed on scoring. I think he took a ball down he had made a great catch, fell down at the 1 yard line, like whatever. I have to go Hollywood. I know Garrett Wilson is super enticing right now. I understand that. If you choose to start Garrett Wilson, that is totally fine. I personally don't think I can advocate for that with guys like Hollywood as an option.
Now, Hollywood is more of a boom bust play. You're shooting for the moon with Hollywood. I would say at this point, I do think that Garrett Wilson has gotten to floor play, safe play status. Can we expect him to get 26 points a game? Absolutely not. But against Cincy, they're going to have to air it out. With Flacco in there, I think Garrett Wilson is the safer floor play. But if you're looking for the ceiling, I think the 26-point game could come from Brown at any given point. So you go Brown.
Yeah, go Hollywood. And we got people helping out in the chat. We appreciate that. Again, we will continue to send these out as just reminders. We see a lot of questions opening up in the chat. We will get to everybody. We just ask for a little bit of patience. Appreciate it. Let's get to Lawrence now.
What's going on, Lawrence? You have to ask, again, you were here yesterday. Who would you flex? Judy, Garrett Wilson, Curtis Samuel, Alvin Kamara, Dameon Pierce. Pierce plays the hapless Bears D with no Roquan. I don't know if I can trust Kamara.
I think so. Yeah,
you gotta trust Kamara, man.
You have to play Kamara.
You gotta trust Kamara, and if it's not Kamara, you gotta go Curtis Samuel at this point.
Yeah, I think this was a start 2 situation, Lawrence. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Kamara and Curtis Samuel. And if Kamara's out, then I would go. Then you could go Samuel, and then it's between Garrett Wilson or Pierce. But you have to trust Kamara. Oh, we got a super from Callum Roger. Thanks, Callum.
Hey, what's going on, Callum? Thank you very much. Appreciate much. That. Much appreciated. Full PPR: Edmonds, ETN, McKissick, or Stevenson.
ETN.
This game against the Chargers, yep.
Against the Chargers, yeah. Even if Herbert doesn't play on the road, this is a tough matchup. Neutral game script for Jacksonville in this type of game is to throw the ball. I'm going back to the well with ETN one more week with those as my options. Edmonds maybe got usurped by Raheem Mostert. I don't know if that'll stay the same every single week, but Mostert got all the work last week for the Dolphins. McKissick is a change of pace, and Stevenson looks pretty good, but the numbers haven't quite been there. I'll take ETN in full PPR in a game where I would expect Jacksonville to be trailing even with a hobbled Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I mean, yes, his ETN snap count went down last game from week 1, but his rush attempts went up, and instead of 4 targets, he got 3. So he does have he's got a pretty safe floor, and we just have not yet seen the ceiling. This could be the ceiling week. Appreciate the super, Callum. Thank you so much. Yep. Hopefully that helped. I'm pretty like for of those options, ETN for me, it's pretty clear.
But thank you. Back to Lawrence. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Lawrence. I feel like I remember this being a 2-part, or you needed 2 guys. Kamara, if he's in, you got to play him. If he's out, then you can go Curtis Samuel and Garrett Wilson. I would avoid Judy tonight with the uncertainty about his availability.
Yeah, I would go with those 2 wide receivers. I would not go Curtis Samuel, Dameon Pierce.
Samuel and Pierce.
I would go Samuel and Wilson over Samuel and Pierce if I'm not going Samuel Kamara.
Yeah,
if you can't trust Kamara, if Kamara isn't going, I would go with the 2 wide receivers there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because with Joe Flacco playing again, between 59 and 44 at pass attempts, half of the quarterbacks in the league don't get above 32.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson's going to have a lot of chances.
Got over, 103, 104 pass attempts through 2 weeks. Jets are airing it out. To that point, Eric, and we're going to talk about Garrett Wilson, I feel like, a lot today. I like him this week. We can't expect those same numbers as week 2. Remember, his second touchdown, eclipsing 100 yards on the day, all came in an unlikely scenario to happen again. If Nick Chubb just kneels on the ball the way he's supposed to instead of scoring that, I think he got his 3rd touchdown of the game. Like, great stat day for Nick Chubb, but the Browns lost the game. So, whatever.
With his usage, I think you can expect a 12 to 15 point day. I do. With the amount of usage he's getting, I think that's what you're looking at right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So I like Garrett Wilson. It's just, again, there is a tier break at some point.
Yeah.
And there is a chance for the pendulum to swing in Elijah Moore's direction,
Yeah.
Or Corey Davis's direction, which we really haven't seen through 2 weeks.
Davis is off to a great start.
Yeah, but he isn't off to the start that Garrett Wilson is. Is what I'm saying. It could swing back into his favor where he looks like the wide receiver 1 in this offense, not Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
But we like Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Rico Baptiste, you got offered AJ Brown for London. Should you accept?
Yes, you should. Yes, you should accept.
He's only 25 years old right now, bro. People are forgetting that AJ Brown is still very, very young. I think he's like my dynasty wide receiver 3 right now, 3 or 4. Honestly, he's gotten to that point. He was up there before last year. He was in everybody's top 4 fantasy wide receivers. It went. I mean, it was CeeDee Lamb was in there at one point, but right now it's Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and then who else would you rather have at 25 years old? I think it's AJ Brown.
Well, I don't know if this is a dynasty. I don't know if this is a dynasty question, but I mean, yeah. Well,
no, it's just that's
Jalen Waddle might have something to say about that.
That's just. I mean, you can talk about dynasty as it pertains to redraft. It was just the fact that he is back up there because he's so young and so good with the great quarterback.
Yeah.
Instead of
getting London or getting AJ Brown for London, yes, do it. Yes, do it. What's up, Conrad?
Even in redraft, I like good young wide receivers. Conrad, what's happening? And John, you are welcome. Tim, you are welcome. Matangs, what is happening? Full PPR. Should I play Damian Harris or Darrell Henderson in my flex?
Harris.
Doesn't feel great, but Harris with no Jacoby Myers might catch a few more passes.
And just Henderson's usage went in the wrong direction from week 1 to week 2.
Yep.
Harris. At home.
Still a wide RB2. Don't expect anything more than that, but yeah. John. Burrows or Goff? Bengals O-line has been so bad, and Goff has been killing it through 2 weeks. You still go Burrow.
Still has to be Burrow. It still has to be Burrow. With those weapons, Goff's on the road. Again, the Vikings are a team that they're one of those dome teams that they play better at home. They are not as good on the road. They got embarrassed week 2. They're at home, division opponent. This is a tougher spot for Jared Goff than I think the Vikings are getting credit for. Play Burrow. I know that the Bengals they look bad right now. They don't look good. But give me the guy who is just flat out the better quarterback with a deeper collection of weapons.
Absolutely. Yep.
Burrow.
Yep. And we got another Burrow question there between Burrow or Cousins. Burrow. So just answer that one real quick, Rico. I would go Burrow.
Cousins is a little more enticing since he's the one who's at home, but I would still go Burrow.
And Tim, we'll jump back up to your question. Full PPR, 3 wide receivers and a flex. You have Justin Jefferson, Michael Pittman, Deontay Johnson. Do you start Garrett Wilson, Michael Carter, or Elijah Moore?
Wow, that's interesting.
Garrett. Garrett.
It is enticing to go Garrett after the week that he had last week. In full PPR. Yeah, I will say I do like Michael Carter. I know that we expect the pendulum to shift over to Breece Hall eventually, but at least right now, this is just me making a case for Michael Carter. He's played 60% of the snaps both weeks, and he's caught at least 5 balls both weeks. And, we've been talking about how Flacco has been airing it out like crazy. I have no reason to expect that to stop against this Bengals offense. I would think Carter gets some decent usage. That being said, Garrett Wilson is probably just the more like exciting player to play right now.
If Flacco can get back on track, or not Flacco, if
Elijah Moore,
Burrow can get back
Burrow.
on track with the offense, and that offensive line starts clicking. Remember, with a lot of these offensive line additions, when the Chiefs brought in all that offensive line talent a year ago, Joe Thuney, Orlando Brown, and stuff, they brought in all these new guys. It took them 6 games to start gelling.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens. I'm not saying that this is going to be the game or that it's going to get any better for Burrow with respect to his O-line, but there lots of times you see O-lines just start to gel over time, and then it just starts to click. So I just want to say that with respect to Burrow, because we've gotten a few Burrow questions. And I think since the Jets are going up against that team who's just in the Super Bowl with those weapons, I want to start the wide receiver in PPR over the running back, even though Michael Carter has looked pretty good through 2 weeks. I think this, despite what you said about last week being a little bit of a fluke, possibly.
Not the whole thing, but yeah, part of it.
I mean, you could see them, Joe Flacco, really try to air it out again against the Cincy Bengals and just try to keep up if the Bengals start to click. So that is within the realm of possibilities there too. So I would just go Garrett Wilson in the flex out of those options. But I love that wide receiver core, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to get much better than that.
Yeah, some good players.
I would just keep Wilson in there, man.
Yeah, just keep Wilson. If you have him in there, that just might mean what your gut says. Go with your gut, and Wilson is fine in full PPR. Giovanni, as far as the tweet from Mortensen about Justin Herbert, yeah, I mean, so he's taking a pain. If he chooses to take a pain injection today, it'll be done with the assistance of ultrasound imaging. To make sure that it's administered appropriately.
I think it always is
good.
I think it always is. Unless it's just a straight arm injection, if you're injecting into a site, you're using some sort of. Remember, the Chargers punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung because they administered a needle wrong.
Yeah, that's not
that
good.
led to Justin Burrow being started. They're not going to play that way with their starting quarterback, who is their absolute future. I think this is common practice. So I'm not too concerned about them using ultrasound to get to the right site.
If he chooses to play, you have to play him.
Yeah. I like all that information that Chris Mortensen is giving us, but I think that's common practice.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, lots of people considering Garrett Wilson today. I mean, deservedly so. He had a monster game last week, and there's reason for optimism that it continues.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they were hoping that they drafted when they drafted a guy high. So
he's a good player.
It's good to see him panning out already. It looks like the cream of the crop wide receivers from the 2021 NFL draft look pretty good.
Yep, they look pretty good. Anthony Ramos, Tua or Carr? Man, Carr's got the Titans on the road. Tua's got the Bills on the road or at home.
I would go Tua.
And the Bills are banged up on defense, and the Dolphins are going to probably have to keep pace with the Bills. I think I'm going Tua. Yeah, that Titans Raiders game is like, that's gross. The Titans are not a higher powered offense. Like Carr might not have to do a whole lot today. Tua, if the Dolphins want to win, Tua's going to have to do a lot. He doesn't have to throw 6 touchdowns, but he's going to have a big game. Tua,
I mean, he might have to throw 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, maybe.
If the Bills defense is going to be impacted by the loss of their top 2 safeties, like I think it is.
Yeah. Tua.
Then Tua's going to have to really keep pace, and he has the weapons to beat these rookie corners, and really, because Poyer and Hyatt are so good, the second and third, or the third and fourth options at safety for the Bills have really never seen the field outside of the preseason. Mm-hmm. So you got to factor that in too. I'm going Tua. And DR Cuevas, what's happening, man? Brady or Flacco?
It's got to be Brady.
Yeah.
Again,
he doesn't feel great this year, but you got to go Brady.
or just even this week, it doesn't feel great. Like Flacco's got his full complement of weapons. I will reiterate, some of Flacco's production and two touchdowns worth of production came in a fluky situation within the last 2 minutes of the game, or last couple minutes of the game last week, when Nick Chubb should have just gone down at the 1 yard line or before the end zone. If that happens as expected, Flacco finishes with 300 yards and 2 touchdowns instead of 404, which is still a very good day, but it's not as inflated as his week 2 numbers look. I would just go with the better quarterback. I know Brady's down to Russell Gage, Cole Beasley, and a couple of fans that they're going to pull out of the seats at wide receiver, but it's Tom Brady we're talking about at home. I would just rock with Brady.
Yeah, in the last 5 years, going back to 2017, Joe Flacco only has 3 games where he had 3 or more touchdowns, or just 3, not even or more. So it's not something we should expect from Joe Flacco, a 4 touchdown game or even a 3 touchdown game. 1 to 2 touchdown games are where he's been living for the past 5 years when he has played. So just go Brady. Yep. Anthony Ramos, full PPR at RB2, Hines or Henderson? I think at
Hines.
This point, you think so?
Hines.
You think so?
Yeah, if full PPR, Hines got usage right away last week. I think he caught the first 2 throws from Matt Ryan, and then the Jags were like, okay, we can't let this happen because he's the only guy that they have because they had no wide receivers last week. I think Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce, mostly Michael Pittman being back, helps Nyheim Hines in a game where the Colts they're playing the Chiefs. You got to keep pace. You have to keep pace with the Kansas City Chiefs. Darrell Henderson's, again, usage went in the wrong direction from week 1 to week 2. I know he scored, but it was the final line wasn't great, and Cam Akers got significantly more work week 2 than he did week 1. It feels like Henderson is trending in the wrong direction. I would say Hines.
I mean, it does not feel like Henderson is a super solid play, but yeah. Hines, 4 attempts rushing through 2 games. I know that's not what you count on him for, but I mean 5 targets and 6 targets in the 2 weeks that he has played. Henderson getting 10 attempts a game at least. Plus, I mean, I expect him to. He didn't catch any passes last week. Caught pretty much all the passes the week before. I expect it to be a little bit more in the middle of that. I do expect him to have some targets thrown in his direction. He did run 17 routes last week. I mean, he did play a 50% snap share. I like Hines, but it's clear that even the Indianapolis offense isn't what we're expecting. And even in the game with no Michael Pittman, he only could muster 5 targets. So, I mean, we were expecting 8 targets, maybe even a 10 target game for Nyheim Hines. We were expecting it to go the other way. I think I go back to Darrell Henderson for 1 week because again, after week 1, we were thinking Darrell Henderson, high end RB2 value, Darrell Henderson to the moon. So I'm not going to let 1 week against a team where they probably didn't need to air it out, ATL, against Henderson. And I think I think Henderson gets a little bit more play this week. I'm going Henderson.
All right, we're split there, Anthony, but hopefully the discourse helps you to make your decision. If it doesn't, feel free to crowdsource, see if anybody else has any thoughts between Hines or Henderson in full PPR. We are split, and that's going to happen. We're not going to be in lockstep on every single option, but obviously the dialogue hopefully helps you make your decision.
Yep.
Hopefully. But let's keep it moving. We got lots of questions.
Right. Yes. Where we at?
Adam.
Just lost my
He's got
spot.
an injured Dalton Schultz.
All right. Torn between Robert Tonyan or Hayden Hurst.
Hurst. I'm not giving up on Tonyan, but I think it's fair. he's still working his way back from this torn ACL. He's still getting his sea legs under him. I need to see a little more from Tunyon before I can go back to firing him up. Hurst is off to a decent start, not like a set the world on fire start, but he's off to a decent start. I would
blocking
go Hurst.
tight end Drew Sample is out for the year, so Hayden Hurst is a full-time role player. Like, he is a full-time player. So if usually if you're streaming, if it's a choice between Hurst at this point or anybody else, probably gonna go Hurst. So Hurst.
JXD. Did you have a race this weekend? Let me know. Start 2. Full PPR. Sutton, Bateman, Waddle, Higgins. I think it's got to be Waddle and Higgins. Well.
No, Waddle and Higgins.
Yeah, no, it's got to be Waddle and Higgins.
If Judy isn't playing, Sutton's a little bit more viable.
Sutton's more enticing, but we're not going to know that till Sunday night. He's probably going to be limited at, like, Judy might be on a pitch count if he goes, and Sutton's going to be super enticing, but Waddle and Higgins are wide receiver 1s right now.
Yeah, you play those two.
You play those guys. They're all really good options. Maybe trade one for a stud running back, or don't, just keep him. I don't know, but yeah, Waddle and
trade.
Higgins.
I would trade Sutton because Judy is going to come back at some point, and Sutton had an 100 yards, 7 reception game last week, I think. So yeah, I would if I have those wide receivers, I'm contemplating trading Sutton coming off of a hot game with Judy looking injured maybe for this game.
Yeah.
But that's only if you want to entertain that. Anthony Ramos, Gabriel Davis. That's what we're calling him from now on. Or AJ Dillon, full PPR in the flex.
Gaby baby.
Yeah, I think I roll Gabe Davis. It's hard to not go in AJ Dillon's favor, but
full PPR. He's a wide receiver 2. Attached to the best passing offense in the league.
Yeah.
Gabe.
Yep. Gabe. Jesse Hartfield, what's happening, man? Curtis Samuel
Jesse?
Or Mike Williams? Mike Williams.
Mikey Dubs.
Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Now, I know if there's no Herbert, if there is no Herbert and they are playing a backup.
Well, Samuel's in the early window.
Never mind then. So yeah, you just go. You got to go Mike.
I would
Mike
roll the dice on Mike. I know Samuel's on a heater right now, but we're talking about one of the premier wide receivers in the league, in Mike Williams.
And Keenan Allen is coming off an injury.
50-50 to play today. I mean, even if it is Chase Daniel, it could be awful, but
could be just like 12 targets, 6 receptions type deal. Yeah. Right.
It could still turn into 6 catches for 70 yards with a, say 25 to 30% chance of scoring.
Yeah, I mean, look at what CeeDee Lamb is doing with the backup QB.
Right, he did much better last week.
Even Amari Cooper did with the backup QB.
Amari Cooper's having yeah.
Look at what Garrett Wilson and the Jets offense is doing with the backup QB. So,
Mike Williams.
Mike Will. And Callum, thank you again for the super. Very much appreciate
it, Callum. I know, RB2 is traditionally a difficult spot to fill. But depending on the draft capital you invest, and you might have between a couple of options. ETN there's a tier break there for me for all of those names. So I would feel fine with that in this game.
And Eduardo, I'm going AJ Dillon at that point between those two.
Yeah, Wilson's got the much better matchup and is his team's 1A, but Dillon it's a talent level thing.
And he was still very much involved last week. Like, he just didn't get all of the receptions and the touchdowns. So he was still very much involved last week, Dillon was. And we expect it to, kind of flip-flop between the two. So
he should get more passes thrown his way. Sammy Watkins is out. Christian Watson was already reported out. He's unlikely to play. If the Packers need to scheme ways to get both of these running backs open for catches. So Dillon.
And Cali Loco, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And Eduardo, thanks for joining us too. Cali, I would go with Wentz.
Just go with Wentz. Yeah, Tannehill can't be trusted, and
Wentz revenge game
Kobe Myers
could be a little fun.
Yeah, go with Wentz.
Deluxe Crane plays. You do worry about. No, continue.
I worry about Wentz going against the Eagles. There's a double revenge game narrative there. Both sides want to kick the snot out of each other. I don't know how it's going to be very interesting to see how that game goes. Very intrigued by that match.
I mean, Darius Slay is playing like the best quarterback in the league.
Darius Slay is playing like an all-pro. Okay.
I mean, who's shutting down Justin Jefferson getting hyper targeted?
Yeah. I would be a little worried about Terry McLaurin today.
Yep, that was my point. But I mean, Carson Wentz can spread the ball around to his weapons. Now has Logan Thomas back. I'm sticking with Wentz.
Yeah, play Wentz.
And then Deluxe Krang plays. What do you think about Dalvin Cook for Montgomery and Keenan Allen?
If you're getting Montgomery and Keenan Allen,
do that.
Yes,
because that's getting RB2 and a wide receiver 1.
If you're getting Dalvin Cook, then no.
For an RB1, yeah. I'd go with the Montgomery Keenan Allen side. Even though
like
Keenan Allen's
like
only 50-50 for this game, for the rest of the season, great option.
Yeah, buy low, roll of the dice on Allen. Well, it's not a buy low. You're giving up Dalvin Cook, but you're getting an additional viable starting piece in Montgomery. So,
and Cook hasn't been incredible through 2 weeks either. So you have to factor that in too.
He got his 100 yards from scrimmage week 1. He didn't week 2. I would expect him to get back up to that 100 yards from scrimmage today at home.
But yeah, Monty, Keenan Allen, like that.
Yeah.
Like that. Damon Luce, what's happening, man?
Damon.
Standard League flex, Nico Collins, Mecole Hardman, or Treylon Burks, or would you trust the Raiders rookie Zamir White?
No. Well, what's the latest on Josh Jacobs? He didn't travel with the team, but
if Josh Jacobs isn't playing in Standard League flex, I'm fine with playing Zamir White. If Josh Jacobs isn't playing.
He was questionable. So here's the deal with Jacobs. He was thrown on the injury report on Thursday with an illness. Didn't practice Thursday, didn't practice Friday, didn't travel with the team on Saturday, ultimately ended up traveling later to meet the team in Nashville. That puts him on the optimistic side of playing in my mind. He wouldn't, and it's clearly a non-COVID illness. Otherwise, he wouldn't have traveled at all. I'm inclined to believe Jacobs is going to play. Therefore, I say fire up Treylon Burks and hope for the best.
If he's not playing, I think Zamir White is a good play. But if he is playing, yes, Treylon Burks has looked very good through 2 weeks, despite the limited role he has played. He's looked good. He has. He looks like their number 1 receiver going forward. So, Treylon, but if Josh Jacobs isn't playing, considering it is standard, Zamir White.
Yeah, you can pivot to Zamir White in that scenario. And you'll know, it's the same game between Burks and White, so you'll know the status. Coming up shortly, probably within about an hour, we're going to start to see a bunch of inactives trickling in.
Yep. Typically happens right around then. Mitchell Benkowski, what's happening, man? Appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, Mitchell. Glad you could make it.
And Damon Luce, RB2 standard, ETN or Jeff Wilson?
Wilson. If it's standard and ETN's not getting any boost for catching passes, then I'll just give me Wilson. There's a talent level tier break here, but your scoring favors the guy who actually gets the bulk of carries, Wilson.
And it was a few years ago, but when Jeff Wilson got the RB1 role all to himself at the end of the year, 2 years ago, when he was getting 20 rushes a game, I believe he was the RB2 overall through the last 3 weeks of the season. So in a short period of time, Jeff Wilson can be elite if given elite touches in fantasy.
He had 84 rushing yards last week. I think he caught a couple passes. So
he's a solid floor option too. So Jeff Wilson.
And Trey Lance is gone. So there's no quarterback vulturing rushing production. Wilson is now looking like he was a good pickup after waivers after week 1 or on waivers after week 1.
Yeah, to end the 2020 season, Jeff Wilson 16 attempts, 60 yards, 1 touchdown in week 16, 22 attempts, 183 yards. And 2 targets. Week 15 and week 16, 20 rushes, 76, and a touchdown. So he was very usable towards the end there, and the coaching staff hasn't changed. So yeah, Jeff Wilson. Greg Z, 123. What's happening, man? Happy Sunday to you too. Looking for a flex in half PPR. Cooks, London, or Wilson?
Cooks.
Yeah.
Go Cooks. I mean, he's the best option here. He's boom bust,
and he hasn't had the boom week thus far.
So the boom could happen.
In
Chicago, nothing scary about that matchup. I checked the weather. It's a little windy, maybe 15 miles an hour winds in Chicago, but there was a threat of thunderstorms going into this week. Looks like the storms have moved out of the area. So it should be relatively clear conditions in Chicago today. I would go Cooks. London's got a juicy matchup. Cooks is just more proven. I can't. I love London. I really like London for the rest of the season. I really like Wilson for the rest of the season. I can't rank them ahead of Cooks just yet.
No, I mean, and there is a chance some of those targets that London had last game go back to Kyle Pitts, because Kyle Pitts only had 2 targets last game, which is really an aberration for him.
Kyle Pitts is coming. It will come back to life. It's gonna happen. So yeah,
Cooks,
give me Cooks.
Cooks,
clear top option in his team's offense.
And Damon Lewis, it's all good, man. You play in a lot of standard leagues though. That's interesting.
Yeah,
you should move it to PPR. Just my opinion. But regardless, pick 2. Are Barkley, Patterson, Swift, and Kamara? Barkley and Swift.
This is a pretty loaded option.
Barkley
Saquon
and Swift.
Yeah, Saquon and Swift.
And your other question there, also standard league. With Connor a game time decision, should I go with somebody else? Well, since he's a game time decision, if it's between him and Eno, you can make that distinction at the time of the game. I would not go Edmonds.
I would go Jeff Wilson.
Would you just, you would just Jeff Wilson?
Yeah, because Eno, they split work between Eno and Darrell Williams pretty evenly when Connor went down last week. I would think if he can't go, it's another gross, unpredictable backfield timeshare. Edmonds, again, got usurped by Raheem Mostert last week. Could be more involved against the Bills today, but that's tough to trust. And then in standard, I mean, ETN just loses a lot of value.
True. So does Edmonds. In his own right.
So
does Eno. So Jeff Wilson.
Does Edmonds. So Wilson. Actually, Wilson for me, and it's an easy call.
Yeah, going through those options and bringing her down like that. Yeah, I agree.
Wilson.
I agree.
Yep.
Tim Shields in my other league, full PPR, 2 wide receivers in a flex. I have Herbert, Gibson, Connor, Chase, Diggs, Higbee, Deontay Johnson, and the Bills D. Do I start Connor or Eno Benjamin / Penny? Or do I play Bills or Bengals D?
Play the Bills. You still got to rock with I know they're down multiple guys, but that pass rush with Von Miller is still something that you can
still got all their linebackers
hang your hat on. Yeah. I would still play the Bills.
And those rookie corners haven't showed
out
through 2 weeks
this year yet. The Bengals haven't done a whole lot on defense just yet, so I can't. And Flacco's playing pretty well. Maybe not spectacular, but pretty well. I would just play the Bills. But as far as Connor versus Penny, I think they both play in the late window. So if Connor's in, I don't feel great about him being a game time call. He could be. He's a candidate to play, to start the game, play the game, and then just re-injure himself during the game. But Penny's an injury risk himself based on his history. So Connor if he goes, Penny over Eno if Connor is out. I
honestly think it's Eno over Penny.
I'm not playing Eno over Penny because of Darrell Williams.
I'm not playing Penny because of Kenneth Walker and DJ Dallas, who got some play, and Travis Homer, who was the RB1 for the team last week. It was weird. That usage was very weird.
I know it was weird.
They're going to continue to ramp up usage for the rookie after his first game. Travis Homer got way too much play for me to trust Penny. If it's going to be a 2-man backfield for the Cardinals versus a 3-man backfield for the Seattle Seahawks, it's not a question for me. Even though we've seen what Penny can do, to me, I'm going Eno. In full PPR, I think you go Eno.
We're split there, Tim. Connor if he goes, John likes Eno. If he doesn't, I would pivot to Penny. We are split.
Yeah, after what Penny did, I can't.
That's fair.
And Eno has looked very good.
Williams, I'm like, meh. I know Eno looked pretty good week 1. That's hard to. I don't know if Darrell Williams is going to draw most of the work as the veteran. I don't know. I mean,
Eno is number 6 in yards per touch through 2 weeks. Number 9 in yards per route run. Yeah, he's in yards created per touch. He's 8th in the league. I like in juke rate, number 10 in the league. I like him. This week. If I have to choose between him and Penny, I'm going Penny. Or I'm going Benjamin. But we are split. And Gavin Martez. What is happening? Cortland Sutton, Drake London, Marquise Brown, or Chris Olave? If Judy doesn't go, it's Sutton.
I think you just go Sutton.
Do you?
I have a hard time vouching for this Broncos offense right now, but Sutton is off to a pretty good start. I think I would just go Sutton.
You wouldn't go Brown if Judy's playing?
Well, the difference is Brown is going to probably see Jalen Ramsey.
Good point.
So not that, the Broncos have they have a tough assignment with the 49ers as well, but I would take Sutton just because you probably drafted Sutton ahead of Hollywood.
Yeah, I would just, Sutton.
I would just go Sutton. Let's put it this way. Even if Judy plays, Judy is limited. Sutton is not right now. True.
Very true. And just to your second question there, Irv Smith or Gerald Everett?
Everett. Yeah. Well, yeah.
No,
ride
really
if Herbert.
Really easy
ride
for me.
It's just like whether Herbert plays or not. But even then, backup quarterback could just key on
Keenan Allen on a snap count,
easy short throws. Yeah, Everett.
And Nemo, what's happening, man? Part 1, wide receiver 2, Babe Davis or Mac Hollins or Treylon Burks? Babe Davis.
Babe, not even close.
Part 2, if Babe Davis, if Babe, would you flex one of them or Conklin? Burks, I'd flex Burks.
I might flex Conklin. Conklin's off to a really good start. Let me look. 92% of the snaps week 1, all of the snaps week 2. He has 7 targets week 1, 9 targets week 2, 16 targets in 2 weeks, 4 for 16, not great week 1, but he did score, and then 6 for 40 week 2. Pretty good usage so far. I might go Conklin over Burks. It's a kind of a coin flip for me. Burks has been involved, but I think he's got like 3 and 4 catches or something like that. 4 for like 55 or something last week, right? So good numbers, very good numbers.
5 and 6 targets in back-to-back weeks, but his snap share has gone up both weeks. And now he plays.
That's a coin flip for me.
I think I'm going Burks.
Right,
I understand that, but you look at the targets again. It's because Flacco is airing it out so much. I don't like. It's enticing. Because Conklin is getting all of the snaps there, so that bodes well for him.
Against the Bengals,
but what's his ceiling?
Offense.
It's
another good offense that they're playing today.
Treylon Burks has the ceiling. I'm going Treylon Burks. He's going to get targeted down the field more. Unless Conklin gets a touchdown, you're going to end up with like a 4 for 40.
All right, fight. Burks is a more upside play. Conklin is like a play it safe play.
Yeah, I would, and I'm more inclined to just go for upside. Usually, unless my lineup is all upside and I need some stability at the position, it depends. But would you drop Conklin or Hollins for Goff? I would drop Hollins for Goff. I would not drop Conklin based off of what he has been doing thus far, which is good. But
yeah, you can stash Goff. Russ is hard to trust right now.
And I would drop Hollins. I think that's fine. I don't feel bad dropping
Renfro will be back after, we assume he'll be back next week. Concussions are tricky, but we assume he'll be back next week. So, yeah, Hollins can be dropped.
And, Patrick. Hey,
What's up, Patrick?
Man. Missed last night, but I'm back. And unfortunately, I am going to miss the Tuesday stream next week, but then I'm back full time. So.
There you go.
But, Nemo.
We'll see about how that zombie thing goes.
Not giving you my shades.
How that goes.
And, yeah, that's not going to happen. But, Patrick, listen, bub, you're going to quit picking on Nick Chubb.
Hey, man, I'm not, look, Nick Chubb's a great running back.
All right, what did you say about Nick Chubb?
No, just that, he should have kneeled down or gone down short of the goal line to seal the game for the Browns last week, and he didn't. He scored his 3rd touchdown, and ultimately, obviously lots of scenarios happen over the course of a game, but if Nick Chubb doesn't score that touchdown, if he just goes down at the 1, the game's over. The Browns win the game. But he didn't. He scored. Jets got the ball back, scored real fast on a fluke play, then got the onside kick, or not a fluke play. It was a broken play for Corey Davis. There was no coverage. And then they recover the onside kick, and then they march down the field. Garrett Wilson gets that 2nd touchdown. Jets win the game. Not trying to pick on Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is spectacular, not taking anything away
points
from him.
Per game right now. He is RB1.
Oh, yeah, no. This has nothing to do with his production and what he's done so far. It's just, he should have gone down.
Fair.
He should have gone down. That's all. That's it. All right, I'm done. I promise. New day, like you said.
Hey, you hate on Nick Chubb. I hate on as I likely it happens.
I'm not even hating on Nick Chubb.
I know. I'm just messing
I'm
with
not
you.
even hating. But
I'm
yes,
just messing
I
with
know.
you. Tim Shields in my 3 wide receiver league. Should I drop Penny for Godwin? Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Holy hell. Who
Yes.
dropped Godwin?
Yes.
What's wrong
Don't
with
even
these
want to
people?
finish that reading that whole comment. Like, yes.
Tim, do it now.
Do it. Yes.
Do it now and then rip a shot in celebration. Nobody should be dropping Chris Godwin. If anything, Chris Godwin is a buy low. I don't like soft tissue injuries, but it's a long season.
What a steal.
And he's still only 26. Yeah. Yes, Tim.
Oh, man.
Do it.
And nice pickup. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. Again, rip a shot. Drink a beer. Do whatever. I don't care.
In a 3 wide receiver league, no less. Like, awesome,
That's
man.
Someone's
solid.
asleep at the wheel.
Someone's in.
You must not have IR
I don't want to
spots,
insult the person,
by
but
the way.
somebody made a really dumb move.
Somebody messed up.
Anthony Ramos.
Those
But yeah,
thoughts.
all
Okay.
right.
If I helped sway you to play Hines, then cool.
And if it was
And
my
if
comments
Henderson-
on Hines that made you go the other direction, then whatever. But
if Henderson pops, I blame Matt Ryan.
okay.
But hopefully you make the right choice.
If anything happens, I'm blaming Nate Hackett right now.
That's fine. Nate Hackett's an easy guy to blame for pretty much anything.
And Vito Tropiano, what's happening, man?
What's up? What's going on, Vito?
We got Vito and Giovanni in here. What's up?
Hey.
What's up? PPR, Olave or Elijah Moore? Olave right now, coming off a 13 target
I think Olave.
game.
I think he's got like a 22% like target share, something like that. That hasn't translated in the box score, but it will. It will. Yeah, I would go Olave. Elijah Moore is like I'm not giving up on him. Far from it. It's just he's like the team's wide receiver 3 right now. That'll change. It should change. He'll have his weeks, but
yeah. Remember in the
Olave
off
right
season, everybody was saying through camp he was the wide receiver 1, and it wasn't.
He was
close.
looking great.
So maybe it's just he never played with Flacco. He was playing with Zach Wilson in camp and through the preseason and stuff. So he just doesn't have that rapport with Flacco. Olave does because he was playing with that second team. You made that point a few weeks ago, Nick. So or last week. So Olave. Scott Sharp, one of the ugliest running back rooms in the fantasy league, need to start 2 full PPR. Edmonds, Stevenson, McKinnon, Mason, Jamal Williams. Also, Flacco over Brady and it's not close, really. All right.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I disagree that it's not close, and I do prefer Brady. Flacco's got his full complement of weapons. Brady doesn't. We're talking about Flacco at his ceiling versus Brady at his floor. So in that scenario, I'm inclined to say let's take a shot on Brady. But to each their own. As far as full PPR, I guess of this group, I would fire up Edmonds. I know, I've mentioned it a couple times. Raheem Mostert got the lion's share of work last week in the Dolphins' backfield in a game where they were trailing.
If I'm starting one of those guys, the number 1 guy I'm starting is Stevenson over Edmonds, and then it's a choice between Edmonds or Jamal Williams for me.
I worry about Jamal Williams on the road against that Vikings.
So to me, it'd be Edmonds or Stevenson, but Stevenson is a must start out of those guys for me.
It's start 2.
Yeah.
So Stevenson. Edmonds and Stevenson. Yeah, I would play Edmonds and Stevenson.
I think it's a non-zero possibility that everything that Damian Harris got last week goes in Stevenson's way this week.
Both guys should be heavily utilized today with no Jacoby Myers. Like Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson.
And Nemo, go Goff over Mariota.
Yeah, go Goff. Well, Mariota can run, and it's nowhere nearly as scary a matchup.
I'm still going Goff.
Goff's got better weapons.
Yeah.
I'm playing Mariota over Aaron Rodgers in our members league today.
Oh man.
I'm playing Mariota over Aaron. Well, whatever. He's down Sammy Watkins. He's down Christian Watson. He's going against Tampa. No thanks. And that is not close for me. Rodgers is like an avoid this week.
He might be in a void every week.
Yeah,
he might be.
He did okay last week, but keyword is okay.
J Dubs, what's happening, man? Keenan Allen status, he is 50-50 right now.
50-50. I haven't seen anything recently. I would consider him extremely volatile today. Limited in practice Wednesday, Thursday. Didn't practice Friday. That could have just been like a rest or maintenance day. He's in the later window, right? Not playing until the 4 o'clock window. I would say if you're planning on relying on him, have a backup in place for the 4 o'clock window or later. Allen is tough to trust. Allen is incredibly difficult to trust.
Give it one more week. I know in practice, Justin Herbert was throwing to him and to Mike Williams, but practice is not game day. So we really need to see that he's out there, and considering, yes, it's a late game.
Yeah.
You kind of got to, I think you got to swerve.
Mm-hmm. Unless
you have a late game option swap, in which case you can wait on him, or a Monday night slot, something like that. Swap. Gits, what's happening? I would just go Mooney, man. Mooney, I think at some point they have to go back to him. They can't keep on treating Dante Pettis like their wide receiver 1.
What does Mooney have, like 5 receiving yards?
Something like that. Look, he's been my wide receiver 3 in our keeper league, and it's just been rough. He was a guy we were expecting to possibly be among the league leaders in targets, and he's not being targeted at all. This is super weird.
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. But
I'm super worried about Justin Fields.
I am worried about Justin Fields.
I'm officially worried about Justin Fields.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned. It has not been good. But 2 tough defenses to start the year. Maybe he can get back on track today against Houston. And to that point, there's nothing scary about that matchup. It's honestly, everything is scary. What it is it's the player. That's like what you're worried about, not the matchup. That being said, yeah, Mooney can't keep doing literally nothing. Like, he is at his absolute floor right now, which apparently his floor is 0. But there's going to be better days, and today could be one of them against a Houston defense that isn't super scary.
Yeah. Yep. And
Mooney.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not in on Beasley.
I mean, we got to see it first. It's his first game action of the year, getting signed like last week out of necessity. This is an emergency situation for the Bucs.
And Russell Gage is there. Brashad Perryman is there. Leonard Fournette is there. Rashad White is there. Yeah, Scotty Miller. Yeah, so it's not like Mooney is literally the only guy out there. Yeah. So yeah. Beasley is the only guy out there.
I don't trust Beasley just yet. I would go with Mooney, who has a much better chance. Of being the team's top target. For whatever that's worth, because I know it hasn't been worth a whole lot. But I would say Mooney.
And Damon Luce, Conklin, Hurst, Tunyon, or Logan Thomas at tight end in standard. You're only carrying 1 TE.
Probably has to. I mean, you probably got to chase Logan, or I was going to say you probably got to chase Logan Thomas at this point, right?
I mean, Hurst, better QB, better offense. Logan Thomas, maybe this game with them going up against the Eagles and Darius Slay most likely locking down their top wide receiver in Terry McLaurin. Maybe this is another Logan Thomas game, but in a vacuum, if not for the opponent coming into play there, I mean, the play to me is Hurst.
Then I guess Hurst.
You're talking about a full role player. You're talking about Conklin and what that means for his fantasy viability, him being a full-time player. Hurst is a full-time player with Joe Burrow in a much better offense that might need to get a little bit more tricksy with it.
This just came down from RotoWire. Hurst is expected to play today. He opened week 3 with a limited session before returning to a full practice Thursday, then logged a capped practice Friday when Diana Rossini of ESPN reported that Hurst endured a setback with his groin injury. Still, he is now good to go and is expected to be confirmed active 90 minutes before kickoff. Just want to throw that out there.
So are you going Logan Thomas?
I think I might.
All right.
I think I might go Logan Thomas.
I think Logan Thomas is the ceiling play.
The Eagles linebackers are a lot better than they have been in the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, so it's not like a cakewalk matchup for Logan Thomas. But like, is Hurst going to be a little limited today? I didn't know that this was a groin. He was dealing with a groin injury.
I didn't know he was dealing with an injury at all, to be honest with you.
Expected to play, picked up a groin injury, and then had what I can only assume is a minor setback, but still a setback on Friday. But he's still expected to be good to go for today. I think I would roll the dice on Logan Thomas. Let's keep an eye on those injury reports. I expect Hurst to be active, but based on that, I might go Logan.
Yeah, I didn't know about the injury at all.
Yeah,
and
so I might go Logan.
I'm taking into account the matchup, and we all know Logan Thomas, what his ceiling is. He was a top 3 tight end 2 years ago. Maybe Logan Thomas with a much worse quarterback. Remember that it was Alex Smith 2 years ago. So yeah, Logan Thomas with the best quarterback he's ever played with his number 1 corner wide receiver being shut down. I didn't know about that Hurst injury, so that's good to know.
Yep,
good to know. Greg Z, hey, you don't got to be sorry if you got one more. Keep throwing them in the chat, bro. Rest of season, have PPR tight end Everett, Thomas, or Knox?
Knox, then Everett, that's close, but Knox, then Everett, then Thomas.
I am very close to the point where Everett rest of season overtakes Knox.
I gotta see it I gotta see a little. How we've both been big proponents of Gerald Everett. Before I do that, I gotta see like a little bit more consistency. I love Gerald Everett.
Both got that RAS above 9, both playing with top 3 quarterbacks in the league.
But Knox has a healthy Josh Allen. Everett has a broken ribs Justin Herbert.
True.
It's close. It's very close. Thomas is like 3rd. But Knox and then Jacobs.
I did say I was very close.
And then Everett.
I didn't say I had him over him. I said it was very close. So I mean,
breaking news.
Knox is going to have a better rest of season than he has thus far. What is the breaking news?
Josh Jacobs will play week 3. Worked out on Sunday, deemed good to go. Anybody who was holding out hope that Zamir White could be an intriguing play today, ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Ain't going to happen. Josh Jacobs, good to go for week 3. Fire him up as a boring RB2 in a non-scary matchup.
But yeah, Greg, rest of season, it's Knox, but Everett is very, very close.
He's right on his heels.
And once Justin Herbert gets healthy, it's any given week. But then Thomas is a distant 3rd.
Yeah.
And Callie, you asked yesterday, but now with Buffalo DST's injuries, if Knox is out, pick up Gesicki, Conklin, or Hooper. You kind of like Gesicki with no safety, and the Raiders could implode? ?
They could, but so could the Titans.
I think I would go Conklin.
I would go Conklin here as well.
If Knox is out, but...
Yeah, I don't trust Gesicki.
But is Knox trending out?
Knox is questionable. Knox is on the injury report as questionable.
All right. I think they need him. But... I like Conklin with one more week with Flacco. Gesicki's enticing. He scored last week, I believe.
He had a good game last week, yeah.
But, I mean...
I'm going Conklin.
Yeah.
If Knox is in, play Knox. If he's out, I would go Conklin. Getting a lot of snaps and a lot of work. And CJ Uzoma returned to practice this week, but it sounds like he's 50-50 to play. Could be just like limited part-time player at best. I like Conklin as a streamer today against a good matching up the Jets are against a good Bengals offense.
No, I mean, you want to go? There were some other Hurst questions above,
nice.
And I think we went Hurst, didn't we?
I said Logan Thomas between Conklin, Hurst, and Tunyon.
I thought there was another one before that, but Regardless, let's just continue with the
Well,
chat
we
here.
didn't know about the Hurst injury before.
Yeah.
So
No, I just wanted to see if we wanted to
Conklin.
reevaluate some of those.
Yeah, we had to reevaluate because Hurst is on the injury report. Apparently had a setback on Friday. Didn't know about that. Sounds like he's good to go. Still, that gives me a little bit of pause. Conklin's not on the injury report at all, so I'm a little more in on Conklin. If we said Hurst earlier over Conklin, I have pivoted. I'm going Conklin because Conklin's not on the injury report.
Yes. Yep. Agreed.
So yeah, Callie, Conklin. Nemo's got a defense question. Rams or stream Atlanta? The Rams are on the road in Arizona. The Falcons are on the road in Seattle. Seattle is an offense to target for opposing defenses. The Rams are not, the Cardinals are not necessarily in that same category. I would go the Rams. Just go with the better team.
Yeah, they're still the number 7 defense on the year. They haven't, and so yeah, there's top 8 option. I'm going Rams.
Yeah, I just go with the better team. Go with the better defense.
Yep. And Patrick, I get your point. That is a solid point to make. But regardless, Josh Jacobs is starting, so it's a moot point at the same time. But
yeah, I mean,
but
Zamir,
you got a good point. I am a fan of Zamir White.
Yeah, it would be a hodgepodge, like who get the work gets divvied up, or one guy out of nowhere is the guy. Yeah. Regardless, Jacobs is the guy. He's in. He's going to get most of the work.
Yep. William Risky, choose one to go along with zero running back. Just James Robinson, Breece Hall, Michael Carter, Melvin Gordon, Dameon Pierce.
I might play both Jets. I would is it wild? I might take James Robinson out and play both of the Jets. Is that crazy? I guess maybe you're capping yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I think you choose one. What is your league was? Your choose one was for standard. Okay.
I mean, if you're locked on Robinson, then fine. Although I do worry a little
Denver
bit about
playing?
San Francisco at home tonight, Sunday night. It's a tough matchup. Melvin Gordon should be fine, but I kind of like these other options here over him.
No, his snap share hasn't been fine.
Who,
I just looked at Melvin Gordon's snap share, yeah.
I don't remember what it is.
I mean, I out of these options, I do think I am playing James Robinson, especially in standard.
Yeah.
In terms of the other running back that you're playing, it's a choice between Hall, Carter, and Pierce for me. And
Hall's got the pass catching upside, which is not as helpful in standard. I might go, well, okay, fine. I'll say the guy who I think is still the Jets RB1. I think it's Carter. Pierce, well, the argument for Pierce is that he should be the dude, like unquestioned at this point. If you prefer the workload, William, if you're like, give me the dude who's probably going to dominate backfield touches, it's Pierce. If you want a guy in a 1A scenario on what potentially is a better offense, the Jets might be better than the Texans right now, top to bottom on offense, then Carter. So do you want the guaranteed workload, or it should be guaranteed? I say that, famous last words with Lovie Smith. What we can assume guaranteed workload with Dameon Pierce, which would mean I guess I probably lean him. Or do you want what we think is the 1A in a committee that could go either way, but they've both been performing well? In that case, I would go Carter.
In standard league, I think I'm going James Robinson and Dameon Pierce.
Yeah,
I like Breece Hall and Michael Carter a lot, but they are a little bit more of a PPR-ish option for me. Plus, I mean, with respect to what I think might happen in this game, which is, I mean, the Bengals might come out hot and just get their playmakers involved and score quick. The rushing aspect could be taken out of the game, and while we in standard leagues, I think I'm just gonna go with the guaranteed touches with Dameon Pierce and James Robinson.
Yeah,
but I like Breece Hall and Carter a lot. I do, but in standard leagues, considering their opponent, I think I'm going James Robinson and Dameon Pierce. And Andrew Helfrich, what's happening, man?
What's up, Andrew?
Allen Robinson Adam Thielen, Chris Olave. Allen Robinson to me.
Yeah, Robinson. I mean, he came
looked
back to
good
life
last week
week.
and had one of his touchdown passes taken back, right?
Had a touchdown called back on a fluky penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'd go Robinson. Van Jefferson placed on IR. So he's, not that he was in at all this so far this season, but again, just a continued consolidated target share pretty much between Kupp, Robinson, and I guess Tyler Higbee.
No, he's got a tough cornerback matchup, but I think considering the target share is so consolidated between those Rams wide receivers, I think you got to go Allen Robinson because Thielen hasn't looked good. And Olave's got a ton of targets, but, I mean, that could swing the other way too. Because it was Landry week 1, and then Olave getting all the targets week 2. It could swing back to Landry's way week 3. It could. So Allen Robinson to me.
Yep.
And Badger Pack Attack. Are you from Wisconsin?
Somebody might be from Wisconsin or just likes Wisconsin. But
what's happening, man? Thanks for joining us. Is Keenan Allen worth a start? What you had some comments about him earlier.
No, he's way too dicey. Unless your option is like, I don't know, Mac Hollins. No offense to Mac Hollins, but he's 50-50 to play. He's still dealing with a hamstring. I think he got some limited work in this week before sitting out of Friday's practice. That could have been maintenance, could have been rest, but he's up in the air between the questions around his availability, plus Justin Herbert dealing with a significant pain tolerance. If he goes, if Justin Herbert himself is able to play, I would be incredibly leery of Keenan Allen this week and would be looking for pretty much any viable pivot that would include probably pretty much any wide receiver 3 that I have available to me. He's just really tough to trust right now.
Yeah,
might need one more week.
I agree.
Might
William Risky, defense question. I would just ride with the Niners, man. I know that they haven't been great through 2 weeks, but week 2 against Seattle, 11 points. That's decent. Against Chicago week 1, like it was tough, but that was just a monsoon game and a lot of weird things happened. So you can kind of throw that game out the window. But yeah, Niners over Houston and Atlanta.
Yeah,
for this week.
Just go with the best team. Go with the best defense. And whatever.
And Denver isn't rolling on all cylinders. Right. So.
Right. That's not something I have to feel like I have to worry about right now. They have to figure it out. Nathaniel Hackett I guess this is a good,
hired a special team coordinator.
He just hired a game day, like game management, time management, like coordinator or whatever. Who was a career
special teams coach.
So, I mean, I guess kudos to Nathaniel Hackett for admitting his flaws that are very clearly bugging him right now. But like, to me, this spells the Broncos still need some help to figure some stuff out on offense. I would not worry. I mean, yes, will they eventually fire on all cylinders? They should. I don't think Russ is cooked quite yet. I've seen some people say Russ is cooked. I don't think.
And there's no guarantee that this guy that they brought in is not old school football, non-forward thinking.
What if they still screw up?
Head in 3 feet of mud, like yeah. So yeah, Niners. The player to be named later. I like that name. Have PPR, flex, Pollard or Dylan. Wide receiver 3, Dylan. Romeo Doubs or Juju.
Yeah, Dylan is in a brutal matchup, but there's a talent level tier break here, and they have to involve him. They have and Aaron Jones. They have to both of these dudes should get 15 touches today, 16, 17 touches today. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Sammy Watkins out, Christian Watson unlikely to play. Robert Tonyan is still working his way back. Alan Lazard is in, but he's going to see the Bucs' number 1 corner. Is that still Carlton Davis, who's damn good? Who are they down to? I guess Dubs. But I'm not chasing Dubs.
They're down
just
to
because
Dubs,
Watkins,
Samori, Toure.
Yeah, I'm not chasing those guys
Cobb,
just because. Yeah, and Cobb is I think questionable today too.
Yeah, I think he's playing though, but he is. Yeah.
I'm not chasing any of those Packers receivers. It's a brutal matchup for the running backs, but they're all that the Packers have. Dylan, Pollard is very up and down, which has nothing to do with Pollard. It has everything to do with his
current quarterback.
Unpredictable usage.
Yeah. And I mean, Juju didn't have a great game last week, but his snap share went up. So that was positive to see, and maybe the target swing back in his direction. CXK, what's going on, man?
What's up, CXK?
2 tight end premium. Kylan Granson or Daniel Bellinger at my tight end 2 spot. Daniel Bellinger, man.
I guess Bellinger.
Scored a touchdown.
Yeah,
and
he caught a
Kylan
touchdown
Granson was
last
a
week.
little bit more involved, but that was because Michael Pittman wasn't there. And
Pittman
Alec Pierce
and Alec
was out.
Pierce are back. Yeah.
Right.
I would, just go Belly. Consolidated targets in New York. We don't even know if Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney are going to play, and that's not an injury thing. That's a doghouse thing. Like, I would play Bellinger.
Yep. Yeah. New Jeru's, good to see you, man. Jim Walton, who do I start? Juju, Julio, James Robinson at flex. What is your
It's Allen
format?
Robinson. Or is that James Robinson or Allen Robinson? Either
I thought that was James Robinson. I'm sorry. If it is Allen Robinson, then it's Allen Robinson. But,
if it's James Robinson, it's Robinson. I don't care. I'm not
fair.
a big fan of Juju.
Fair.
Julio is I think Julio's questionable. Is Julio going to play?
Julio's a game time decision. He's not even questionable. He's
I don't feel
truly
good
a game
about
time
that.
decision. I don't feel good about
Test
that
his
either.
knee. Yeah, going to test. I don't feel good about that at all. Don't feel good about that at all. I don't care who the Robinson is. Jim, play Robinson. Whether
If it's
Allen
Brian
or-
Robinson, don't play that Robinson.
Well, don't play Brian. He's still recovering.
If it's
But
Wandale,
play Allen
don't
or
play that
James.
one. Don't play that Robinson. He's not playing either. But there you go.
Just
New
play
Jeru's,
Robinson.
full PPR, Singletary, Chark, Nico Collins.
Singletary. Go with the guy who's likely to lead a backfield. It's a committee, but
Now that he could be a little bit more phased out of this offense this week because they might need to keep pace if the Dolphins continue to roll like they did
I don't
in
think
the
the
last
Bills-
quarter, last game.
teams
But-
need to keep pace with the Bills. The Bills don't need to keep pace with other people.
Well, just with the Bills' propensity to not run the ball. If they
Yeah,
are
that's true,
at all
but-
pressed, they're not going to go to running the ball with Singletary.
What did Singletary do last week?
He was fine. Usage was the best on the team again, but didn't get it done in the
Yeah,
box score.
6 for 19. That just didn't happen in a game where it probably should have happened.
Honestly, I'm not
Go
on Singletary.
Nico Collins.
I'm not on Singletary.
Go Nico. Chark.
I mean, I think people are sleeping on Chark a little bit. I like Nico.
Nico's been getting 67% of the snaps. He's
But
9
I mean,
targets last week.
Chark went from 13 points to 0 points. Like that's a tough drop. But his
I'm
usage,
I'm off
was
Chark.
still pretty decent. Still 4 targets, just didn't catch them. Against Minnesota, they might need to air it out a little bit more.
You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna say Nico. 67% of the snaps back-to-back weeks. 9 targets last week. Again, there's not much in this Houston offense. All of these options are kind of like icky. So I'll just go with the upside play, and the upside for me here is Collins. Singletary. There are better days ahead for Singletary, and he should continue to lead the Bills' backfield. But yeah, the problem with leading the Bills' backfield is you might get 10 touches.
And Chark, I like Chark, but considering it's full PPR, he's not a PPR monster. He's a guy that's going to get you 4 receptions for 100-something yards. And that'd be fine if he hits that ceiling, but Nico Collins can get you the same box score in full PPR if he gets 9 targets, catches 8 of them, and goes for 80. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think Nico Collins is the smart play coming off of 9 targets. Tim Shields, my team, full PPR. Justin Herbert, Monty, Clyde, Justin Jefferson, Michael Pittman, Deontay Johnson, Dallas, Goddard, Garrett Wilson, bench, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, James Robinson, and you also have Brian Robinson and Jamison Williams on IR. Do you pick up Akers and or Godwin?
Grab Godwin for penny, right?
Yeah.
Why is Akers
What league are you playing in? I guess these are short benches because Elijah Moore,
short
Michael
benches, no
Carter.
IR. Like this can't be.
But you have IR. Brian Robinson and Jameson Williams. I would drop Jameson. Well, I guess you gotta. You want to find a way to get Godwin on your IR.
I would maybe sell Garrett Wilson high in a 2-for-1 deal to get an anchor and then free up a roster spot and pick up Akers since you already got Godwin. This is like kind of wild to me that Akers is available though. This is an interesting league. Akers should not be available anywhere.
No. I wish I was playing in that league.
But like, yeah, I maybe try to like sell if this is a super shallow league. Maybe try to sell high on Garrett Wilson. Maybe package Michael Carter. Get like a big upgrade somewhere, and free up a roster spot to pick up Akers. Like that's what I would do.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
What's up, Riley? Yes, we're trusting Bay Davis today.
Absolutely.
I don't care about the GIMP, but if he's in my lineup. I mean, if Gabe Davis is playing, he's in my lineup.
They'll give him the same needles that they're giving Justin Herbert with the ultrasound, and he'll be out there.
Just rub some dirt on it. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Windex. Patrick, what's happening, man? Talk about dumbass moves. Somebody in my league dropped Montgomery. Then when everybody shit on him, he offered Debo to get him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let teams do dumb stuff, you know. People are, I don't know. I guess people have knee-jerk reactions to things. But Montgomery had a good week last week. People
get overly hype on something that happened week 1 or week 2, and they drop they drop Godwin for Jordan Mason or something like that, which is just outlandish and dumb.
Oh, he's hurt now. He can't help me now.
Right,
yeah.
and that's how that happens. People go overboard with what they've seen week 1 and maybe go overboard on a undrafted free agent that's getting talked about a lot on Twitter or something. So, yeah, take advantage of it, Patrick. Good job.
Take advantage of people doing dumb stuff.
Chargers want Herbert to take the long view and sit this week. He was contemplating taking painkiller shot. Should I just start Goff then?
If you are concerned, this is going to be like a personal preference type of thing. If you want to ride the wave and wait on Herbert because you can pivot to Mariota or some other, it's a desperation option at that point. But if you want to pivot to Mariota or like Cooper Rush on Monday night, if you are willing to roll those dice for Justin Herbert, then do it. If you don't trust the situation with Justin Herbert and you want to play a guy in the 1 o'clock window, then do it. It's hard for me to advocate not waiting on a guy of Herbert's caliber, even dealing with the pain that he is dealing with. But if you're uncomfortable, if you personally, you have to ask yourself this, and this isn't just you, Tim, this is anybody who's maybe facing the dilemma with Justin Herbert. If you yourself are sitting there and you're just like, I don't like this. I don't like how this is developing. I don't feel good about this. Like if he does go, he's going to be dealing with a ton of pain, super high risk of re-injury or worse injury. If you're sitting there and you're just like, I don't like this, I don't feel good about this, then play Goff.
Goff is not a bad quarterback to have to swerve to. So if it was a lesser option than that, I would just say, just roll with Herbert and see what happens. But since Goff is such a decent pivot.
He's a fail-safe.
Yeah.
He's a fail-safe.
He's a decent pivot.
Yeah.
QB 10 on the year.
Good weapons. Should be chucking the ball a ton today. And again, Vikings have to play better at home, good pass rush. The Lions have a really good offensive line. They should be able to combat that at least a little bit.
From the time that they discovered Amon-Ra St. Brown through to this week, Jared Goff is the tight end 10. Because last year, I remember the stat was in the offseason that for the last 6 games of the year, not only was Amon-Ra St. Brown a top 5 wide receiver, Jared Goff was a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's carried that into this year. He is the QB 10 on the 2022 season. I mean, Jared Goff is kind of looking like the Jared Goff we saw on the Rams a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
From a fantasy standpoint, obviously not going to make it to the Super Bowl. But Yeah, I like Goff. And honestly, I mean, it's real tough, but it's a risk tolerance issue between Herbert and Goff. But if you have any sort of concerns, I'm on to Goff. I'm on to Goff. And if I don't have a top 12 option, Goff.
Then, yeah, if your gut is telling you to pivot off of Herbert, then pivot off Herbert. Go with your gut. I always tell people that. When you're between a couple options, go with your gut.
Damon Luce at flex, standard. Elijah Moore, Treylon Burks, Travis Etienne, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, haven't heard that name a lot today, or Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre?
In flex?
Standard
in standard?
scoring?
Yes.
Ramondre? I love Etienne. It's just his value is not it's not the same in standard. I mean, you need him to score a touchdown, which he could do today, but Ramondre should be able to. What is Ramondre? I know he's been like somewhat quiet, right? Ramondre.
Yeah, but his usage has been fine.
Went all the way up to 62% of the snap. You like 8 carries, 9 carries, couple of 3 total catches in 2 weeks.
Yeah, his usage has been fine.
62% of the snaps week 2. That's much better than 25% of the snaps week 1. 9 carries for 47 yards. That's over 5 yards a clip.
Everybody said he was going to be the pass catching back. I know, but I know this is standard. But with no Jacoby Myers, he could just get a few receiving yards for you, which would help your box score. So yeah, Ramondre.
Extra catch or 2. Yeah, I'll go Ramondre. Not Marquez. Not Treylon Burks. Elijah Moore.
Not Elijah Moore at this point.
It's just hard. Yeah,
between those two running backs, and edge to me goes Ramondre.
Yeah. Feels kind of wild, but yeah, with the standard scoring, I'll go Ramondre.
Sheldon Bright, good to see you. Ayuk or Devontae Smith in the flex full PPR. I think I'm going Ayuk with Garoppolo.
We have to remember, Kittle is back, so we have to keep that in mind. And he was like, this isn't a questionable situation for Kittle. He was removed from the injury report on Friday, and it sounded like there was like a solid amount of confidence, like he's back, he's playing. So we have to keep that in mind. I would not expect Kittle to be, if Kittle was still questionable right now, I'd be like, he might be looking at like a part-time role or 50% of the snaps or whatever. I don't think that's the case. I think Kittle's going to see a full workload tonight, or as much as he needs to.
I mean, Devontae Smith is getting 96 and 99% of snaps and 7 targets last week and caught all of them, as opposed to week 1 didn't catch any.
Well right now.
Oh man, Devontae Smith. I mean, and he's really good. So
Smith himself is good.
I like Ayuk. Maybe I'm going Devontae Smith.
It could always turn out that AJ Brown just dominates the offense from a target's perspective. That could always play out. But you could say the same thing about Debo for the 49ers. And Kittle is back. I think I'm going Devontae Smith because Kittle is back. And Kittle is back with some confidence. Not, he's going to play, but he's still like a little limited. It's not that. He was removed from the injury report on Friday. George Kittle was. It sounds like there's some confidence. He's back. I would say at least 75% of the snaps I think we can expect tonight from him. I'll go Devontae Smith. It's close. It's 2 good options. It's 2 really good options, but I think I'll go Smith. 7 catches, 80 yards last week.
Yeah.
It's a tough call. They're both good options. Yeah,
Devontae Smith. Higher upside, too.
It's a tough call.
That's the upside play, too, is Devontae Smith. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. It is not like it's not close for me. That's not the narrative here for me. Like it is a very valid question because these are 2 very solid options. And Brandon Ayuk,
gets a boost with Garoppolo. He does.
Yeah, right. He gets a boost with Garoppolo. I guess you call it
8 targets in his own right last game.
Right. Call it even with Kittle returning.
It is super close, but I think, I guess Devontae is the better player. Think? I think Devontae, if you're going based on pure talent, Devontae is the better player.
I think Devontae Smith, but Brandon Ayuk is right there. What's the chat think? Between Brandon Ayuk and Devontae Smith.
So close.
They
are back to back. If I had rankings, they would be back to back.
Yeah, they would be right next to each other.
But yeah, help us out, chat. Help us out.
Yeah. Ayuk or Devontae Smith? We're going to throw it to the chat. We think Devontae Smith, but we see the argument for Ayuk.
And Cali Loco, thank you very much.
Yeah,
in your
appreciate it,
non
Callie.
PPR yardage bonus long league distant
I love
long
these unique
bonus long
scorings.
distance plays and special team scores for individuals. Pick 2. Ramondre,
I love
Noah
these
Brown,
crazy-
DJ
I love
Chark,
these crazy
Khalil Herbert,
scorings.
Romeo Dubs, Elijah Moore.
Ramondre and Elijah Moore.
Bonus for long distance plays, non PPR.
Ramondre and Elijah Moore. I know Noah Brown is enticing, but Michael Gallup sounds like he might be back this week, probably as a part-time player or a limited
I would
player.
rather play DJ Chark than Elijah Moore this week.
I can't bring myself to do
With
that.
what I mean, no, DJ Chark. Yes, he didn't catch any of his passes or score last week, but we're not holding that against Devonta Smith that in week 1. But if those, if you can basically flop their what they got in point totals week 1 for DJ Chark versus week 2 for Devonta Smith, and DJ Chark scored a touchdown week 1. So I think you're being a little bit too harsh on DJ Chark. In non PPR. Long distance plays.
I thought it was PPR.
Not in my non PPR yardage bonus long distance plays. I'm going DJ Chark because that is what he does well. If it's non PPR distance league bonus league, I'm going DJ Chark because if you look at what he got in week 1, I think he got you 13.5 PPR points by getting some long bombs and a touchdown.
4 for 50 and a touch.
Yeah, so he's 1. And then I'm not expecting Ramondre to get long distance plays. I don't know how often he plays on special teams.
No.
But I think I go Ramondre out of the rest of them.
All right, I think we're split on the receiver. We're
It's
both
Ramondre
in on
and DJ Chark. And for Nick, it's Ramondre and Elijah Moore.
Yeah, we're split on that.
If it was based off of talent, I'd go Elijah Moore. But DJ Chark has a stronger role, and based off of the bonuses for this specific format, edge DJ Chark. Harish Santam, what's happening, man? DJ Chark. I got DJ Chark on the mind. J.K. Dobbins or Melvin Gordon PPR. If Dobbins plays, I'm going Dobbins out of the 2. But there's a chance that he might sit, in which case you're forced to play Melvin Gordon. Now,
Dobbins is going to play. Dobbins is so he's still questionable. Okay, the most recent update from Fantasy Pros is that Dobbins may not even be limited. He's officially active and will play in week 3 against New England. Ian Rappaport says, quote, he may not even be limited. That's like, we can do absolutely nothing with that. May not. I may not go on a date with Selena Gomez later today. I don't know.
You do live out in Cali.
I do. Yeah. Probably don't live too far away. So like I take that with a grain of salt. I would be treading lightly with J.K. Dobbins. However, I guess I would play him over Gordon. I guess I would play him over Gordon, but I'm tempering expectations severely. I would not expect anything more than an 8 or 9 point week.
And he is not a good PPR back, so you have to factor that in too. He could get a fair amount of usage, but not get you the points that you're looking for because he's not a PPR back. But I would still go with Dobbins because I think he's the better running back over Gordon right now.
I mean, he's the starter, so.
Yeah. Tim Shields, what kind of trade do you think I could get with Robinson, Akers, Elijah Moore, and or Michael Thomas? Which Robinson? First question.
I think it's James. I think he has James.
Okay.
I mean, Robinson and Akers.
I would hold Thomas, but if you could go James Robinson, Akers, and Elijah Moore, I mean.
A stud.
If it's a 3-for-1, yeah, you could get a stud with that.
Stud.
It's hard to say these are the players you should absolutely go target in a 3-for-3 trade. I can't really give you that.
Yeah. Whatever you think your team is lacking, go try to get a big upgrade at that position.
Yeah. Yep.
Like your team, like you have Montgomery and Clyde. Like flip Montgomery and Michael Carter, or Montgomery and one of your receivers for a big time upgrade at running back. You have Jefferson, Pittman, and Deontay at wide receiver. You're good there. Like, try to get a good running back. Like an anchor
Montgomery
running back.
and with everybody being super high on what James Robinson has done through 2 weeks, maybe it's just you flip Montgomery coming off a hot game and James Robinson for a top 12 guy.
Yep. J.K. Dobbins officially changed from questionable to healthy. So is Josh Jacobs. And for whatever it's worth, so is T.J. Hawkinson. Blah, blah, blah.
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara is in.
Healthy. Yep.
Gabe Davis improved to healthy. All right. Those inactives and actives are starting to roll in.
Make those adjustments to your lineup.
Yep.
But Nico Seth, thanks for joining us. Full PPR, Ramondre, Brees, or Hines. And at wide receiver, pick 2, Allen Robinson, Juju, Lockett, Curtis Samuel. For me, the pick 2 at wide receiver, Allen Robinson and Curtis Samuel. And full PPR, I think
Brees.
You go Brees? Brees had a 20-something% snap share last week, which scares me. Ramondre
he still came through.
Ramondre should get a few more short passes thrown his way with no Jacoby Myers. It's a little bit closer than you might think to me between Ramondre and Brees.
I'm going Brees. I'm going to chase the talent. If anything, he delivered big time on that 25 or whatever % snap share. It should go up this week.
He delivered big on that snap share, but there's a chance that they want him to do that again. And Ramondre went from a 25% snap share in week 1 to a 62% snap share week 2. Huge jump.
Yeah, he saw a big upgrade.
I love Brees the talent. Don't get me wrong, but Brees went in the opposite direction in last week, 27% of snaps. 8 touches on those 27% of snaps, but and scored a touchdown on one of them. If he doesn't score that touchdown, you're looking at another 7-point week. Yes, that's what Ramondre has given you.
Right. I think we're split here, Nico. I think John likes Ramondre. I would roll the dice on Brees. I would. In full PPR, I would.
Yeah, I think I'm going Ramondre. I might come back to this one.
We're split on that, but we're in agreement on the receivers, Robinson and Curtis.
Yeah. Yep. Let me get back to this chat. Eric Carr, good to see you. You related to Derek?
What are you facing with Mike Williams? Oh, who should you start? Curtis Samuel or Mike Williams? You got to play Mike. You got to play Mike Williams.
Yep.
Justin Herbert might not be healthy, but he is. Mike Williams is healthy.
Yeah, and we've seen with other wide receivers and backup quarterbacks, they're doing fine. CeeDee Lamb last week did fine. Jacoby Brissett and Amari Cooper did fine. Joe Flacco and Garrett Wilson did fine. So you can still start your number 1 wide receiver even with the backup. And if Herbert's starting, you're cool.
Yep.
Mark, full PPR, Alvin Kamara or Zeke Elliott? Alvin Kamara, since he's healthy.
Kamara's healthy. Well, and it's just a better situation.
Well, no, now that he's playing, that's my point.
Right.
Now that he's playing, you can consistently play Kamara over Zeke.
It's crazy that you can bench Zeke, but Kamara.
Yeah.
Kamara. Go with your first round pick or second round pick, either way.
Yep. Anthony S. What's happening?
We missed Itty Bitty.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that, Itty Bitty. I was switching screens. Top of the morning to you too, man. Need a flex. Dylan Henderson, Dubs Mooney. Dylan. Out of those options, doesn't matter the format.
It's a gross situation for Dylan, but he has to be involved with the Packers today, running it and catching it. Temper expectations, maybe not a ceiling play for him this week, but of those guys, he's the play. And now we can get to Anthony. You see that? I can take it. Play Herbert. Oh, this is another Herbert question. Play Herbert or wait to replace him?
My screen is refreshing. All right. Yeah, I got it up here.
Anthony, so don't play Cousins. You have Trevor Lawrence, who is the other quarterback in the Chargers game. So you can literally wait until that game to make a call. And if Herbert's out, then I would play Trevor Lawrence. On the road, game script favors the Jags throwing the ball. Christian Kirk's off to a white-hot start.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence coming off a 2-touchdown game, 22
Yeah.
fantasy points. I think you can pivot.
You
just
can
to the
pivot
guy playing in the same game.
The same game. Yeah, you can wait. I would wait. I do like Cousins this week. I think Cousins is going to have a good game, but I want to roll the dice on Herbert in the scenario that I have Trevor Lawrence.
And Corey, I think I would go Hurst.
Oh, damn. Robbie or Hurst. Robbie's got some upside. If you need a ceiling, if you're like, I'm an underdog and I might lose by 20 points, then play Robbie.
Yeah, he can get you 18 points in a week, but he can also give you a string of 2-point games.
Well, yeah, but if I'm like a 20-point underdog and I lose by 20 and Hurst gets me 7 points, then I don't care.
True.
You know,
true.
If it's an evenly matched, if you're like, okay, this could go either way. I've got a good team. He's got a good team. And, you know, it's just a matter of who performs. Hurst.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Hurst. But if you're looking at if you're like, I'm a 15, 20 point dog, or like or my opponent just has better players, better options. And I'm like, I need some big plays to pull it out. Then I would swing for the fences and hope that Robbie can catch a bomb. He should avoid Marshawn Lattimore today. That should go to DJ Moore, who I would be incredibly worried about. But I guess I would go Robbie if I need the upside. If you're like, nah, I don't need, I don't think I need to like do a home run play, then Hurst.
And going back to that Brees or Ramondre, I guess I'm on Brees. Let's just roll with Brees.
I'm on Brees.
Yep.
Hey.
Jonathan Minor, what's happening?
So Jonathan.
Half PPR, running back, start RB.
RB1 is Swift.
RB1 is Swift. RB2 Edwards-Helaire, Chase Edmonds, or AJ Dillon.
Dillon, it's
close between him and Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, no, or wait. I think Edwards-Helaire is in. Is Dillon a flex play? Is this you're trying to figure out your flex?
I thought
Jonathan?
it was trying to figure out RB2.
It looks like, based on how he typed it out, looks like RB2 is locked in.
It's Dillon
with
over
C.
Edmonds, but if it's between one of those last three, if you're just leaving out that Oxford comma, then I think CEH.
Oh, maybe. Oh, sorry. You're right. Maybe it is. Yeah. Clyde over Dillon. Dillon over Chase. Chase Edmonds, that is. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I might have misunderstood. I thought RB2 was like locked in with Clyde.
I mean, I might have too. We might just be reading that wrong.
Yeah, Jonathan. If it's just in RB2, Clyde. If he's locked in and you need to flex him, you're between Edmonds and Dillon, then Dillon.
Yep. Hunter L, good to see you, man. How you doing,
Hunter?
We don't know if Herbert is playing. We think he is. You just roll with him until further notice.
Is Mariota out there? Is Cooper Rush out there? Chase Daniel feels hard.
If it's between Cooper Rush and Chase Daniel, are you trying to pick up Cooper Rush?
I don't know. I guess I'm trying to play Mariota. That's what I'm trying. Yeah, right. Like that's what I'm hoping.
I'm just saying those are the options there.
If Mariota's not available,
I'm leaving Herbert in my lineup, and I'm trying to
Flacco.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to find a pivot
Mariota,
on the wire.
Like I don't want Chase
whatever
Daniel.
It is. Pretty much.
I don't want Geno. Sorry.
No. Keep going.
I just don't want. I don't want Geno. I don't want Chase Daniel. I really don't want Cooper Rush. I don't want Daniel Jones either. Yeah, I guess maybe I'm assuming Mariota's not available, Hunter. But if he is, then I'm grabbing him.
Yeah.
If not, I guess I will hope that to answer the question definitively, I will wait on Herbert, and if Mariota's not available, then I guess I'll pivot to Chase Daniel. But also, we have to keep in mind Chase Daniel is going to be throwing to Mike Williams and Austin Eckler, and that's it.
Gerald Everett.
And Gerald Everett. All right, fine. Chase Daniel has the weapons to like potentially give you a 12, 13-point day.
And are we certain that Keenan Allen ain't playing?
We're not certain, but we're not feeling good about it.
True.
Well, we're not. He could play, but he's 50-50.
I'm just saying there is also a chance that Chase Daniel is playing with Keenan Allen as well. So I'm just saying that. But regardless, I'm rolling with Herbert and then pivoting if I have to. Jack Glimpse, what's happening, man? I would be going Allen Robinson in full PPR. Both have been slightly disappointing, but at least Allen Robinson has hit a ceiling week for us.
Or at least maybe not a ceiling, but a wide receiver 2 week.
Usable week, yeah.
Yeah, usable week. What did Hollywood do? Hollywood had 4 for 40 and a touch week 1. What did he do week 2? 4 for 40 and a touch is obviously not super inspiring.
Not a touchdown, but a rushing attempt.
And then Hollywood had 6 for 68 last week on 11 targets. So this is the scenario for you, Jack. Do you want the team's bona fide clear-cut wide receiver 1, that's Hollywood, at home, but going against Jalen Ramsey? Or do you want Allen Robinson, who is the team's wide receiver 2, had a wide receiver 2 week 2, had a literal nothing burger week 1? I don't expect the nothing burger week 1. I think that was an aberration. I think week 2 output is a little more like what we can expect from A-Rob. Maybe not drawing the tougher assignments. That's going to go to Cooper Kupp. And to the credit of the Arizona Cardinals, last week they shut Davante Adams down, which never happens. So now Cooper Kupp is a different type of receiver than Davante Adams, but they're going to probably administer the same approach. Do what we can to limit Cooper Kupp. Could be it to Allen Robinson's benefit. Whereas Marquise Brown could be force-fed targets. So do you want the guy who is the team's wide receiver 1, force-fed targets in a difficult matchup, but at home? Or do you want the team's wide receiver 2, maybe a more favorable matchup, still a good offense, still a good option to turn to, but maybe has a lower ceiling than Marquise Brown? Safe play with upside is Allen Robinson. Less safe play, but is a bit more of a moonshot. If you need like if you could use a 40-yard touchdown, then Hollywood. I guess I would be inclined to give a slight edge to Robinson, even though I do typically like to find and target teams wide receiver 1s. But I guess I'll give a slight nod to Robinson.
It's tough. It's tough. If you need the pure upside play, it is Brown.
Yeah.
But I like Robinson this week too.
Yeah.
Mr. Heinen, good to see you, man.
What's up, Mr. Heinen?
PPR, Julio, Jeff Wilson, Tony Pollard, Greg Dortch, looking for an upside flex play. Wilson.
Wilson is the chalk here. I guess upside is Pollard, but Pollard's got a low floor. Dortch, look, Dortch has fired 2 weeks in a row. Good for him. That's awesome. I don't know if that's a well that I can continue to go back to. Snaps, 91% of the snaps week 1, went down to 71% of the snaps week 2. But did have a better statistical week 2.
Greg Dortch has kind of been phenomenal, and it was pointed out to me in a Reddit tweet or a Reddit post. Number 1 in contested catch rate, number 9 in catchable target rate, number 2 in slot snaps in the league, number 8 in routes run in the league, number 2 in juke rate from a wide receiver in the league. And as the post pointed out, he is basically what they wanted from Rondale Moore. So he's the wide receiver 22 on the year. Love Greg Dortch for what he's been doing. Honestly, I like to see a guy overachieve like that, but to me, I'm going Jeff Wilson.
Probably has to be.
If Jeff Wilson wasn't one of those choices, I might even go Greg Dortch over Tony Pollard this week because no Rondale again.
Yeah.
But Jeff Wilson for me. Tim Shields, 3 wide receiver league. You're in a 12-man league, 7 bench spots. You had 3 defenses.
Akers?
You had 3 defenses. All right, you dropped the Bengals defense for Akers. Okay.
Dude,
2 QBs, 1 kicker, 2 defenses now. Browns and Miami. All right, much better. You never need to roster 3 defenses unless you have a 2 defense starting league.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a little more sense. But don't roster 3 defenses, man. And you're not anymore, so that's good. Nice stuff.
We got a kicker whisperer question for you.
Seibert, Greg Joseph, Graham Gano, or Jason Sanders. I would probably lean Greg Joseph here at home in the Dome. He flopped last week. Only had one extra point kicked against the Eagles on Monday night. Remember, the Eagles manhandled the Vikings. They couldn't get anything going. Well, they moved the ball down the field, but then Kirk threw some ducks for picks in the red zone. So Greg Joseph lost out on some opportunities there. But he's back at home where he kicked for 17 fantasy points week 1, facing a Lions team where the defense is better with Aiden Hutchinson, but still very much a work in progress. The Vikings are still on paper the better team. They should expect to win this game at home, potentially control this game in the second half, to where they're tacking on points to a lead and kicking field goals. I would fire up Greg Joseph here of these options.
And I do just want to say, Tim, you can probably drop Miami defense.
Yeah, you can probably drop them too. Just Cleveland's got
considering how the other people are operating in your league, you should be able to pick up a starter with that roster spot too. Jacob Nasser, what's happening? Kirk Cousins or Justin Herbert?
And Jacoby Myers is officially inactive.
Yeah. And we got some breaking news. Sam Ellinger is out.
Okay. Jacob, so do you have other options what are your options to turn to in the late window? Like,
to Nick's point earlier, is Mariota out there?
It's Trevor Lawrence out there. Like, is this one of those, is it a 10-team league where it's only one quarterback and there are some good quarterbacks on the wire? Like, who is out there at not Cooper Rush, not Daniel Jones, like not Jimmy Garoppolo, none of those guys, not Geno Smith. But like, Jacob, let us know who else is available in the late window. If you're down to if it's like these are literally my only two options, then I might say go ahead and fire up Cousins with so much uncertainty around Herbert. But who else do you have available to you? Let us know.
Yep. And Nemo, Rams D or Chiefs D?
Man, the Chiefs, I think, are a good streaming option this week. Matt Ryan has been awful. The Rams are the better team. The Rams are the better.
I'm still inclined to just go better team. Since
Rams
it is
are the better.
Still only week 3.
Rams
even
are the
if
better.
It is defense, I think I would just go Rams D. I know Chiefs are a great streaming option.
Rams are a better unit. Chiefs are a great streaming option this week. Rams are probably safer. Chiefs, I think, have some potential. Chiefs have a little bit more maybe boom bust to them because they are on the road today. If the game was in Kansas City, I think I would say Chiefs kind of definitively. Because it's in Indianapolis, I will say that maybe they're not like the best streaming option, but I think they're a good streaming option. Rams are safer.
And Iron, I just see down below the Vikings, the Vienna Vikings won.
Let's go Vienna! Let's go Vienna!
Love to see it. Love to see it.
Them Vienna Vikings.
Take a shot, bro.
Yeah. Let's celebrate.
Take a blinker.
Cheers.
Hey.
Cheers to the Vienna Vikings. Congrats on that chip.
And Randy Miller, need 2 full PPR. Allen Robinson, Adam Thielen, or Michael Carter. Also, or Knox if he plays, and Knox is playing. He is healthy now. Huh?
Knox is in? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Man,
Allen Robinson need 2. So out of the other 2, between Thielen and Michael Carter,
in full PPR.
I think, honestly, Michael Carter at this point. Love Thielen, but at this point, he's gotten so touchdown or bust that if he's not scoring a touchdown, he's giving you 5 points. And he hasn't scored a touchdown. Yeah.
Right, but this could be the week at home against the Lions.
Yeah, but I mean, we were just talking about Michael Carter's usage.
I do like Michael Carter. He's been giving them some good production the first couple of weeks and 60% of the snaps played.
Yeah.
I would just say, again, I like Michael Carter. I will just caution Thielen is more likely to have a guaranteed full-time role, even though it could be, as a decoy.
He's been Carter, out there 100% of the snaps, but it hasn't led to fantasy production.
No, I know. It increases his chances of leading to production.
Kirk Cousins has just been basically been throwing to Justin Jefferson,
as he should. Yeah, I'm
and then
fine with
between
Allen
Everett and
Robinson.
Knox, I think I just go Knox because I know for a fact the quarterback is 100%
Right,
healthy.
I
And
know.
it won't be like a backup situation. So
Knox, because I know Allen is playing. Everett could be catching passes from Chase Daniel today.
And for what it's worth, Gabe Davis, while we think he's healthy coming into the game, he could be on a little bit more of a snap count. So maybe they do things like take Gabe Davis out in the red zone, and then Knox is the only large target in the red zone for Josh Allen.
That's the time to use Gabe Davis.
It would be.
Gabe
It would
out
be,
on
but
the 25-yard line on your own 25-yard line when you're trying to drive the ball. If you want to,
regardless, there's a chance he's going to be on a snap count. So I would just go Knox too, because that's another tick in his favor.
But I guess Thielen is a boring floor play in full PPR. Randy Carter's got a little bit more boom bust. I
think it's the other way around. I think Michael Carter's the floor play, and I think Allen Robinson's boom bust. If he doesn't score you a touchdown, huh?
You mean Adam Thielen?
Yeah. My bad. Adam Thielen.
I guess. I don't know. Carter, Thielen's got the 100% snap rate in his back pocket. We like Carter. The snaps distribution could turn on a heel at any time. That's the only thing. That being said, Carter has played well enough to continue to earn playing time and snaps and touches.
Yeah, look at his target distribution. 9 targets week 1, 5 week 2. And to your point, hasn't caught less than 5 targets in each game. In full PPR, I think Michael Carter is a very good floor play with some upside too.
Carter's safe. I'm just holding out hope that Thielen finally comes through.
I hope so, man.
Teams are relying on it. Come on, Thielen.
If we've seen the best of Thielen at this point, he's had a great career. But I'm not going to call it on his 2022 season after 2 weeks.
No.
But I would just Michael Carter. And then Knox.
All right, go with the young legs, I guess.
Allen Robinson, Michael Carter, Knox.
There you go. Corey and Eric like Ayuk versus Devontae Smith. Okay. I guess we might not be helping because we were slightly leaning Devontae. They're both good options.
And at first I was like, you know what, Ayuk with Garoppolo. But then the more I thought about it and the more we talked about it, Devontae Smith makes just as much sense. And again, they're real close. Real close.
Got an hour to kick off, and we still have some questions to get through. So let's do this. Appreciate everybody's patience as we work through these. If you're new here, we do try to take some time to just kind of dissect these questions to give people as educated. We can do a little bit more of a rapid.
We could do a little bit more of a rapid fire.
I just want to caveat for anybody who's new. We do try to give as detailed a response as we possibly can, but we will get to everybody. But yeah, we can do some rapid fire.
All right, Juan Pulido, what's happening? Who do I put at flex PPR? Curtis Samuel or Michael Thomas or Tyler Higbee?
Michael Thomas. Curtis Samuel's on a heater, but let's go with the bona fide wide receiver one.
I would agree. Fabian Berka, what's happening? ETN, Burks, or Boyd, or Dubs? Do we know the format?
If it's standard scoring, actually, I think regardless of scoring, given these names, I'll just roll the dice on ETN.
Yeah, me too.
Game script could be in the favor of throwing the ball for the Jags, so I'll say ETN.
Jacob, what's happening, man? Good to see you. Darrell Henderson, J.K. Dobbins, or Josh Jacobs? Pick one. It's between J.K. Dobbins or Josh Jacobs.
I would go Jacobs just because Jacobs is safer. Dobbins, Ian Rappaport, J.K. Dobbins may not even be limited. I may not turn my TV off later today. What the thanks for nothing, Ian Rappaport. I'll go Jacobs, more confident in him getting his regular use.
What's J.K. Dobbins' ceiling coming back off of this injury from the first week back? RB2. And we know we're going to get that from Josh Jacobs, so you might as well just go Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, give me the safe play. I'll go Jacobs.
And AB, good to see you. Bengals are Cowgirls defense.
I love it.
Cowgirls playing
I'll go
Giants.
With the girl. Yeah, give me the Cowboys defense. It's Daniel Jones.
And what's with all these players on the wire? Rico, you just noticed J.K. Dobbs is on the wire? Yes, you should pick him up.
Yeah, pick him up. Yes, sir. Pick him up. Drop Cousins. Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
Well, as long as it's not super flex. But if it's one quarterback, yes, drop Cousins for Dobbins. Absolutely. No question.
But I'm going Cowboys defense there.
Yeah, give me the Cowboys against the Giants. Micah Parsons. Enough said.
And Mark, Tua or Russell Wilson? What a world.
Tua. Tua. I know. World. What a world. You're damn right. What a world. It's Tua.
He's the QB5 on the season. I know that's behind a 6-touchdown game, but
right, and 2 games, 2 weeks.
But he's Russell Wilson, the QB20. I would say they have kind of the same floor, but going up against the Bills defense that is hurting on the back end with basically no starting safeties, no starting cornerbacks. I think you go Tua.
It's I mean and plus it's the Bills offense. If the Dolphins want to be in this game, they have to keep pace. You're not going to do that by slamming Raheem Mostert up the middle. Tua. Russ, the Broncos haven't figured it out yet, and Judy is like a game time call. So Russ might be without one of his starting wide receivers, and even if he is, he's probably going to be limited. Tua with throwing passes to Tyreek and Jalen Waddle.
After last week, considering the matchup, it's pretty close. I mean, it's not that close for me. It's Tua and Nickel Pickle.
Nickel Pickle.
Yes, like that name. Chris Olave, man. It's Chris Olave for me.
Yeah, Henderson's snaps went in the wrong direction last week. I would go Olave. Olave's trending up. Despite the lack of stats or the box score, the target share is there. The routes run is there. Olave's going to fire eventually. Give me Olave.
Tyler Buck. What's happening, man? Damian Pierce, Jerry Jeudy, or A.J. Dillon? A.J. Dillon.
Oh, man. It's close. Pierce has the better matchup. Dillon is the better player.
Dillon.
You're on Dillon.
I'm on Dillon. I'm not going to let 1 week where Aaron Jones was the RB1 in the offense take me off of Dillon. We were talking about Dillon like he was an RB2 on the RB2, RB1 borderline coming off of week 1.
Yeah, and
he's still a very high-end RB2 for me.
It's just the matchup in Tampa. It's about as brutal as it gets. That's my pause. That being said, Dillon is the better player. Pierce should see most of the work, but it's a much worse offense. Well, maybe not much worse, but it's a worse offense. Dillon, better player in the better offense in a worse matchup, or Pierce, not as good as Dillon, not as good of an offense, but also not as scary of a matchup.
I'm following the talent in week 3.
I'll go Dillon. I'll go slight nod to Dillon. Judy, I think we need to wait a week on with his limited availability in practice this week and coming off of that injury.
Max Panchalinen, what's happening, man?
What's up, Max?
You got Herbert, you got Goff. Should you wait for Goff or should you wait for Herbert to go with Goff? Again, it's a risk tolerance issue. We've gotten this question a few times. It depends, and it also depends if you want to if there's a swerve where you can go Mariota or Trevor Lawrence, to Nick's point. Goff, though, is through the last 8 games of football played, going back to the 2021 season, he is the QB10 since they found out about Amon-Ra St. Brown. So Goff is not a bad pivot if you just don't want to play the game of is Herbert playing or not. But even if he's injured, Herbert has top 5 upside. And if you can swerve for a guy like Mariota, if he's on your waiver wire or something like that, Trevor Lawrence on your waiver wire or something like that, it really depends. It really depends. Would you rather just set it and forget it with Goff? Top 10 option this week or weekly at this point? Or would you rather swing for the fences and hope for a top 5 upside play? To me, I'd swing for the fences and then pivot if necessary.
Yeah.
Nico Saff, trade Eckler for Diggs. I mean, yeah.
Sure.
At this point.
Like, stud for stud. I mean, that's personal preference.
Hasn't been working out thus far.
Yeah.
He hasn't been what he was last year. Diggs is better than he was last year. So, yeah. And you have Allen as a QB. Stack. Do it. Do it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And Randy, yes, we are reading the chat. It does take us a while to get through these questions because we do like to take our time with them to give you guys the most informed answer. And we both talk through some of these because sometimes the question warrants it. We are reading from the YouTube chat.
Yeah, we're reading the YouTube chat.
And we do try to get to every question in the chat. It just takes some time. You got to be a little patient. But we'll get there. We'll get
Appreciate
there.
Appreciate it.
Ivan
Thanks.
Petty.
Yes, Randy, we're here.
Pittman.
What's up,
Brandon
Ivan?
Cooks. Mike Williams.
Shit.
That is a tough decision. Michael Pittman.
I guess Pittman against the Chiefs.
You don't have to think about whether or not Herbert's playing. We love Brandon Cooks, but Michael Pittman's a top 12 wide receiver right now. So
just fire up Pittman. That's tough that you have to make that call. Expand your starting rosters, man. Talk to your commish. You got good options.
So, Rico, it is Superflex. You said your second QB is Burrow, and you dropped Cousins. So, Cousins was your third QB. So, that would mean it kind of is Superflex.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. That's all right.
That's fine.
Do it. Mr. Heinen, Julio not in consideration?
What's the latest on him?
He's still a game-time decision, and nothing has come down about him yet.
Yeah, I just...
And I know even if he plays, he might be the most high-profile option. There's no guarantee that he's the best option at this point.
Yeah, not crazy about Julio right now.
G-Man, sit one, PPR, Dotson, Gabe Davis or Allen Robinson. Dotson.
You're playing Davis. You're playing Robinson.
Could be another big week for him with Terry McLaurin might possibly being locked up against Darius Slay. But
start your proven players.
Absolutely. Eric Carr, have PPR, pick 2. One for the wide receiver 2 spot and the other for my flex out of Michael Thomas, Christian Kirk, Marquise Brown, and A.J. Dillon. The first 2.
Thomas and Kirk. Yeah, I think I'm
Kirk
okay with that.
Kirk has been great, and Michael Thomas is almost an auto start at this point.
Right. Thomas has, 3 touchdowns in 2 games.
Yeah.
Kirk's off to a phenomenal PPR start. Sure, I'm fine with that. You got some good depth, Eric. Good week-to-week decisions to make. But yeah, Brown going up against Jalen Ramsey, Dillon going up against a brutal Bucs defense. I'm fine with Thomas and Kirk.
John LeBlanc, Tyler Lockett, Breece Hall, J.K. Dobbins, or Ayuk in the flex have PPR.
You going Ayuk here?
I think I am.
I think I would go. I'm okay with Ayuk here. Dobbins, I just don't trust yet. Breece, I like, but when you have a guy like Ayuk who feels a little safer,
full-time player.
Yeah, yep. I'll go Ayuk.
With Jimmy G, I like Ayuk.
We need to wait a week on Dobbins when you have a guy like Ayuk to pivot to.
Juan Polito, we don't need to debate this one too much. It's Michael Thomas. G-Man, we already got to that one. Sheldon Bright,
we got that one.
With Justin Herbert's injury, should I sit Mike Williams and play Brandon Ayuk? My wide receiver 1 is Pittman, running back 2, and 1 and 2, Saquon and Swift. Tight end is Irv Smith, flex is Devontae Smith. No, you should play Mike Williams.
Still play Mike Williams. He's just it's a talent level thing. It's a tier break thing.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver 1 though. Yeah. So play him. He's healthy. Play him. And maybe no Keenan Allen. So just play him.
Play Mike and hope for the best.
Tim Shields, you got Dallas Goedert by week 7. I could drop Miami's defense for these available players.
We're thinking too far out in advance, worrying about bye weeks that far out, Tim.
Yeah.
But yes, drop Miami's defense. You don't need to roster 2 defenses worrying about bye weeks at this point. Cleveland is a top option.
Honestly, yeah, drop Miami's defense for the best player available. Don't worry about
grab Njoku. Grab Njoku. He fired.
I don't think you can grab him because he played.
Well, you're gonna have to use weight. Yeah. All right. So if you want to pick up a guy for today,
get the best player regardless of position. Don't worry about Dallas Goedert's bye week in week 7 yet.
Yeah.
Just get the best player at any position.
Yep.
But you can drop Miami's D. Ivan Petty, Brandon Cooks, or Pittman.
Yeah,
we got that one.
He asked that already. Yep. Guys, please do not spam the chat. I see some people spamming the chat. We are going to get to everybody. We see your questions. Please don't spam the chat.
Yep. Just got to be patient with us. We'll get through everything before kickoff. We still got 45 minutes. Awakwas, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Not on Twitch.
Right.
But happy football Sunday, man. And good luck to you, too. Pick 1.
Good luck to
Landry, Chark, Corey Davis, full PPR.
Ooh.
They're all in the same tier. Full PPR, Landry and Corey Davis get the edge.
Landry had a quiet week last week.
I think, is the answer Corey Davis? I think the answer is Corey Davis.
I like Corey. Do you ride the wave?
Corey Davis with Joe Flacco playing against the Bengals, where he's probably going to score or pass for another 50 attempts. Right. Corey Davis.
Landry might not be needed a ton today because the Saints are playing the Panthers. They might not need a ton of points to take care of business. The Saints. Davis, I'll go Corey Davis. Yeah, he seems to be operating as the team's wide receiver 2 right now, kind of comfortably.
And Tim, you want a trade package for an RB1 out of that squad? I think I would try to package Garrett Wilson.
Sell high on Wilson.
Because when Zach Wilson comes back into the fold, he's not going to be passing above the 44 attempt mark every game. So Garrett Wilson's going to take a little bit of a step back just in targets. Yeah. And you have Elijah Moore. So Garrett Wilson and maybe Monty for an RB1. I think we had said that earlier.
Sure.
Or maybe if you can swing it, Garrett Wilson, keep Monty, and maybe somebody really likes James Robinson or Michael Carter.
We can do a little bit more deep dives on trades, like on Tuesdays, and we also have our member streams. If you're interested, you don't have to. But like Wednesdays and Thursdays, we have our member streams. 99 cents a month to get those 2 extra streams to be a practice squad level membership. You get a little extra access to us, a little bit more time in the middle of the week to dissect trade ideas. And then, of course, on Tuesdays, we can do that as well for the general public waiver stream. We're going to limit our trade advice.
Yeah, I was just going to say that real quick and move on. So, Steel City, PA. Flex, James Conner, game time decision, or Bobby Trees, or Slobby Rob. I mean,
go with Slobby Rob.
Slobby Rob.
Yeah, go with Slobby. I don't try. Yeah, and you can wait. If you really prefer to play James Conner, they play in the same game, so you can wait to see if Conner's active. But I would not play Robert Woods. Robinson, if Conner's inactive. And honestly, if Conner's active and potentially on like a pitch count, still Robinson.
And Fabian Verca, so in PPR, ETN over Burks? Yes.
Yes.
G-Men, we already got that one. Zip, need 2 wide receivers out of Metcalf, London, and Garrett Wilson PPR. London and Metcalf tier break at this point. We like Garrett Wilson, but
I can't chase 100 yards, 2 touchdowns just yet.
And Metcalf has multiple 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah, Metcalf and London. I'll go with Metcalf and London.
Yeah. Nico Seff.
Same game too.
Olave or Burks full PPR?
Olave
coming off a 13-target game.
Yeah, those targets, the target share, the routes run. Olave's it's coming with Olave. Yeah, Olave.
And Kelly Loco, do not sit Mike Williams. Again, Joe Flacco. Look what Joe Flacco is doing with Garrett Wilson. Look what Cooper Rush is doing with
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, Amari Cooper and Jacoby Brissett, CeeDee Lamb and Cooper Rush, like backup quarterbacks, are still hyper targeting the wide receiver ones.
Right.
And no Keenan Allen this week, most likely, or at least a split low snap count Keenan Allen. So Mike Williams, keep starting him, everybody.
Yep, fire him up.
Nemo, so Russ or Goff?
Goff.
I'm saying the top 10 option right now.
If it's Russ or like Mariota, then fine, Russ. But like that's how
Russ
far.
Or Aaron Rodgers, it's Russ.
I guess, yeah. And that, yeah. Then or Russ or Tom Brady, Russ. Other than that, like the threshold, Russ is the threshold this week. If it's like any other option or Russ, it's probably the other option. Goff is in that conversation as well. I'm playing Goff.
Keep saying it. Goff is a top 10 QB going back the last 8 games of NFL football played in the regular season. Rico Baptiste got JK. Now I have the hard decision. Should I flex JK or Treylon Burks? JK. Just go JK.
Dobbins. Yeah, just fire up Dobbins. Burks is interesting and he's moving forward. They have a role for him, but I guess I'll take the guy who has a chance to be a little bit more involved than maybe we would expect given his situation. Dobbins.
Yep. And Fabian, I'm going Bears.
I guess the Bears at home.
Versus Houston, they're the best
all those other teams.
Guys.
The Panthers are at home against the Saints. No way. Texans are on the road. No way. Jags are on the road. No way. Even if potentially against the backup quarterback, I just don't trust that situation. Yeah. I guess the Bears. Apparently Roquan Smith is out though today, so that's not great. Are there any other options? Maybe
going up against Houston. Out of those options, I'm guessing those are the options you're looking at. I would go Bears. Eric Card, you are welcome. Damon Luce. Hopefully they can change it because a little league variance is fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
It's fun, and honestly, once your leagues might start out as standard. I know our first one did. Once we moved to PPR, got a little bit more fun. Did. Anthony Garcia, start Hurts or Tua? Hurts is an auto start at this point, even with Tua.
Yeah, Tua's playing awesome right now and has to be started over guys like Russ and Brady and Rodgers. Just start Tua over the Hall of Famers, but not anybody else. Right? Yeah, Hurts is an auto start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He looks great right now.
And Damon Luce, I am a Bills fan. Have been since I started watching football. And Nick is
Eagles, baby.
He grew up in Philly, man.
Born and raised in Philly. Dad introduced me to the Eagles. I have been a nightmare ever since.
And
I've tapered off. I'm not one of those.
My dad's
I try not to be.
Side of his family is from Buffalo, so got ties to the
go.
Buffalo region. Been a Buffalo fan for forever.
Bills and Eagles fans here.
Yep. Juan Polito, Zeke, Dylan, or Damian Harris at PPR, Higbee or Kittle. I mean, if it's Kittle. If Kittle's playing, it's Kittle.
Kittle's
especially
playing,
with Jimmy
so
G.
play Kittle. Yep.
And between Zeke, Dylan, and Damian Harris at PPR, I'm going Dylan, bro.
You're going.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I like Dylan as well. I'm just a little worried about this Bucks matchup. I am. A little worried about this Bucks matchup. I just have this feeling in my gut that the Packers aren't going to be able to get anything going today. That being said, Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon are like the only guys that you can trust.
And Ezekiel Elliott he hasn't been good.
Yeah,
5 points in back-to-back weeks.
I second guessed it.
Nah.
It's between Dylan. Yeah, Zeke has been awful.
It's Dylan to me.
And between Dylan or Damian Harris, yeah, Dylan. It's just a brutal matchup, Juan. That's all. Just like keep in mind it's a brutal matchup, but Dylan is plenty talented, so hopefully he can come through with some catches.
Hopefully, just get that touchdown, bro, that you didn't get last week. Joe Harris,
just fall into the end zone.
Happy Sunday to you too, man.
What's up, Joe?
Pick 2 to start on my RB2 and flex, full PPR. Henderson, Gibson, Lazard, Dobbins, or Burks. Gibson and Dobbins.
Yeah, Gibson, and then I guess I'll roll the dice and hope that Dobbins can give me 8, 9, maybe 10 points.
And Fabian, yes, dropping DJ Moore is crazy. Don't do it. Oh, you benching. You're the team with Boyd, Burks, and ETN. No, don't bench him yet. It's only week 3, and dude is
gotta
a
play
stud.
him.
Still,
you gotta play him.
Yeah.
You gotta play him.
He still deserves to at least be in your wide receiver 3 spot or your flex spot. So yeah, DJ Moore. Continue to roll out DJ Moore.
Yep.
Not exciting, but hopefully he can.
Game script should be in his favor today.
Maybe he can give you something this week.
Yeah.
And Damon Luce, thank you very much, man.
Yeah, Damon, we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody in here, and I think
same to you, bro.
Juan had some kind words for us as well, so we appreciate that. We appreciate everybody in here.
All around.
We appreciate everybody's patience. Again, I'll say one more time because we have caught up to the chat a little bit here.
Yes, sir.
Discord, you can keep the conversation or the questions going in there. If you miss us on one of these streams, third link in the description of this live stream and all of our recent videos. Evergreen invite. You don't need to be a member to join. That might help streamline the process here, there. And you can just join an awesome growing community who just wants to talk fantasy football all the damn time. Could be worse. But yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate everybody in here who's hanging out with us. Appreciate the patience as we work through all these questions. We hope we're hoping we lead everybody to wins today. That is obviously the goal. So you guys are welcome. And yeah, Tim, you're as well. Tim, come on back on Tuesday. Happy to go a deeper dive into trades and all that stuff. We just got to make sure we get the start sit advice in first. With that being said, let's keep it rolling with George Tech. Did you go to Georgia Tech, George? But George Tech for flex. Would I go Kamara or? Oh man, where would you go with this? Kamara or Pittman? I guess Kamara. I think
Pittman. Pittman's a top 10 wide receiver.
I know, but Kamara was drafted. You drafted Kamara to be an RB1 for you.
Yeah, you did. But I mean,
standard scoring. Well, actually, both of these guys benefit from PPR. Standard, I'll go with the running back. Half or full PPR, George. I think I might actually. Yeah, Pittman might be fine. Pittman is safer. Kamara's a little bit more like.
But they have the same ceiling. Well, Kamara has 4 touchdown ceiling, so I'm never gonna say anybody has the same ceiling as Kamara. But Pittman and Kamara on a average ceiling basis. Pittman has just similar ceiling to Kamara outside of those huge spike weeks. But I'm going Pittman.
let's go Pittman because they're playing the Chiefs and they're at home. Colts need to plan to keep pace with the Chiefs. Kamara's on the road outside of the dome in a division game against the Panthers. Not that the Panthers scare me as it pertains to Kamara's production, but I would guess there's a few intangibles here that I guess I would say are in Pittman's favor.
Pittman. Joe Harris, for your second league, I am going Brandon Cooks.
Oh, man. I like both of these guys. I do. Cooks has the better matchup. Hollywood's in the dome.
And it's coming for Brandon Cooks. Like, he hasn't had the
he's
boom game.
catching a score today.
It's coming for Brandon Cooks. Today. So then start him. I don't think it's it's not that it's not close.
Start Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks.
Hollywood's got the dome, but he's going against Jalen Ramsey. Cooks is outside in the elements, but it's the Bears.
And MT, if you have Justin Herbert and you're only going to chase Daniel because you're worried that Justin Herbert isn't playing, keep Justin Herbert in there. But if it is really a choice between just Chase Daniel and Davis Mills, then you start Davis Mills.
Oh, man, like, is Mariota out there? Like, I guess Davis Mills because he should be chucking the ball a ton. Brandon Cooks can single-handedly give Davis Mills a 15-point day.
So can Nico Collins. He just hasn't done it
Nico
yet.
can help with that too. And if Pierce can catch a couple passes.
Choice between Chase Daniel and Davis Mills, it's Davis Mills. But if this is really a Justin Herbert question, then you just roll with Justin Herbert.
MT is Mariota out there? Like, let us know.
Yeah. Fabian Verka. I'm still going with the Bears.
Stick with the Bears.
And Nemo's got a kicker whisperer question for you.
Where is Maher kicking right now? I don't even know. Is he the Cowboys kicker? Yeah. I think I would go Greg. I think I would still stick with Joseph. At home in the dome. The Cowboys are favored to win the game too, but they're on the road. And I'll take the dome over the potential random weather conditions of MetLife Stadium, right? That stadium is notorious for being weird with the wind. And I don't know if it's going to be a windy night in New York on Monday night. Let's check the. Can you take the next question from Jared? I'm gonna check the weather in East Rutherford tomorrow night.
And I got a question that isn't in the chat. Raiders Titans, Lions Vikes, Texans Bears, Giants Cowboys. Out of those matchups, who do you like? Just rapid fire. Who do you like in the Raiders Titans?
Just to
Raiders,
win the
right?
game? To win the game?
Yep.
Raiders.
Lions Vikes.
Vikings.
Texans Bears.
Bears.
I think I might go Texans. Giants Cowboys.
Cowboys. This is a parlay.
I just helping
Wind's
a family member out.
Actually, the wind isn't too bad in MetLife Stadium on Monday night for Brett Maher. What did he do the past couple of weeks? Oh, he had 12 fantasy points week 2 against Cincinnati.
And I'm just going to answer Jared's question real quick while you're talking that over.
Do it.
Kamara and Connor. And if Connor isn't playing, wait. What are the schedules? When are they playing? Cardinals late.
I would go Kamara and Connor, and if Connor's out, then you can pivot to Henderson.
True.
Just do that.
Yeah,
it's not
because
great,
they're playing in the
but
same
I would
game.
do that.
Yep.
Yeah. I would go Nemo. I would go Greg Joseph at home in the dome. No concerns of conditions. And the Cowboys are favored to win the game, but so are the Vikings. And I would feel a little bit more confident about a home team than a road team just in a vacuum. I'll take Greg Joseph over Maher.
And Daggers, good to see you, man.
Up,
I'm going Ayuk. Pretty definitively. Yeah.
Ayuk over those other guys. Dortch is a nice story. Burks is coming on. Ayuk is a little bit more established. And Jimmy G's back.
And Nemo, no.
Appreciate it, AB.
No.
And Nemo,
thanks,
we do not
AB.
want to become
Appreciate
zombies today. That's not the plan.
SS Austin, Gabe Davis or Christian Kirk, full PPR, kind of leading Gabe Davis. Chargers do well against the slot. I mean, this is tough because Christian Kirk has been
I know,
awesome.
But Gabe, and if you're leaning, if your gut says Gabe, then go with your gut. And I am with your gut, Gabe Davis.
I'm going Gabe Davis because I love Gabe Davis, and he's pretty much an auto start whenever he's playing. But Christian Kirk, 14 points week 1, 22 points week 2, on the back of 2 touchdowns. He's been awesome.
Kirk's off to a spectacular start.
Honestly,
he probably will see Asante Samuel.
Who are your other? Is this a flex question? And if so, if not, if that's just purely a wide receiver question, who's in your flex? Because I'd be trying to put Christian Kirk in my lineup.
Yeah, I do want to get Christian Kirk in my lineup if I can, but Gabe has to be in.
And Tim Shields, you're gonna try to mitigate the St. Brown. All right.
Yeah, you can do that.
Go for it. Again, Goff is a top 10 option.
Goff is fine. Maybe he'll throw some passes to Hawkinson this week.
And MT has Herbert 4 p.m. play, Mills noon play. True.
Yeah, MT. Is there anybody else on the wide? Is Mariota out there? You can pivot to Mariota instead of Davis Mills. I do prefer Mariota to Mills because of the potential. He could run a little bit. If not, then I guess I'm gonna hope Herbert plays, and I'll pivot to Chase Daniel if I have to. Davis Mills is a nice player, and I root for guys like this who are they're battling for their longevity in the NFL at the end of the day. That being said, I am gonna roll the dice on, even at potentially 60% or worse, one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Herbert. And if I have to pivot to Chase Daniel because I have no other option, then so be it.
Yeah, if you have Herbert, you're playing Herbert. George Tech, you have Brady as the starter. That is rough. You could drop Lockett to get another QB. Rodgers, Cousins, Carr, Goff, Wentz. Should you drop Lockett to get another QB? Since we're at the bottom of the chat, who are your other options to drop, George?
Yeah, we're at the
bottom. Because I don't want to drop Lockett because he did have a very good game last week.
Right. But
that might be an aberration. But
I do want to pick up Cousins if I can.
Honestly, would you drop Brady for Cousins?
Yeah, honestly,
is this a 1 QB league?
Yeah, you could.
It looks like a 1 QB league. You could just drop Brady, bro.
George, yeah, you could just drop Brady.
If you have this option of quarterbacks to choose from, you should just be streaming quarterbacks anyway.
Right. If all these dudes are available, you're not really losing that much by dropping Brady, who has been not the guy for fantasy that he was last year. His wide receiver core is decimated. It is once again today. Yeah, just drop Brady and pick up Cousins. I think Cousins is a really strong play today. I do. At home, in the dome. It's that 1 o'clock start, right? Kirk Cousins loves his 1 o'clock starts. Kirk Cousins hates primetime, man, right? But he loves his 1 o'clock starts.
Yeah, he's going to get 300 yards and 3 touchdowns today.
Yeah, 300 and at least 2.
Yeah.
I would just drop Brady for Cousins. Yep.
And daggers, I think Nick is a fan of the Chiefs, though the Giants are enticing, but I think I'd rather go with the Chiefs just because chances for a lot of interceptions are there for the Chiefs.
Here's what it comes down to for me when I'm between streaming options for defenses. Who do I like to just flat out win the game? Who do I like to just, as a team, who do I like to win the game? Because if I expect that team to be leading in the second half, this is the narrative. I'm painting with a very broad brush, but this is the narrative that I just kind of like to go off of when I'm between these options. Who do I feel like has a great chance to have a lead? Therefore, the defense is more likely to have opportunities to tee off and force the opposing offense into mistakes. That means sacks and turnovers. My confidence level here, as far as who wins the game, the Chiefs are the highest. They are one of the best teams in the league. The Colts don't look very good right now. Yes, they're going to play desperate. Yes, they're at home. They know the level of capability that the Chiefs are as an opponent. I expect the Colts are going to be up for this game, but they still haven't played well enough to give them a huge benefit of the doubt that I would expect them to beat the Chiefs. I do not see that happening. So I'll go with the Chiefs. Sometimes your best defense is a great offense. And the Chiefs offense is a great offense that can rack up tons of points. And by default, even if the Chiefs were like an average defense, all of a sudden they look up at the scoreboard and they're playing with a 3-score lead. and they can play free and loose. Like, that's just.
Yep.
So the Chiefs. The Chiefs.
Nemo, I didn't see that. Cleats from The Office. I gotta check on Twitter. Check those out. That sounds fun.
Cleats from The Office. So he's catching 2 touchdowns today. Is it Kevin? I hope it's like Kevin spilling his chili. I don't know why that's where my head went to, but I hope I hope that's what it is. Yeah. I hope it's Kevin spilling the chili. I could do The Office references all day long. But yeah, sounds like Gabe is in line for 2 touchdowns.
Quinn Dobbins.
Yeah, Quinn. I don't love Dobbins this
week,
but
Daggers.
But it's got to be Dobbins.
Burkhead.
Drop Burkhead. Yeah, drop Burkhead to activate Kamara, and then just MT just to wrap a bow on this. Wait on Herbert. Wait on Herbert. If it has to be Chase Daniel, then it has to be Chase Daniel. If your options are Davis Mills and Cooper Rush, I am going to hold out hope that I can get Herbert even at 50%.
Yeah.
And yeah, Daggers, go ahead and drop Burkhead to activate Kamara.
But we are at the end of the chat here. Yep. So if there are any more last minute questions, let us know. But we might just take this time to dip and set our lineups, right? Get our drinks or food ready for the for kickoff.
Yes,
but thank you everybody for chilling with us today. Very fun. I'm glad I could be back for this one because I missed last night's. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thank you to Kalen Rogers if you're still in here for the super. Thank you to anybody who subbed during the duration of this live stream. We hope you guys win. We hope you steered you in the right direction. Quinn Hall, I'm going Marquise Brown there just because I don't have to worry about whether or not Keenan Allen's playing or not. Right. Coming off of what,
so play
8
Hollywood.
Targets.
Yeah.
So yeah, but thank you to everybody for chilling with us today. Fun stream as always. Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Nick will be taking that stream by himself because I am going to visit family. But we will be back for the members only Thursday, or I will be back for the members only Thursday stream for you members out there that are still listening, and we will be. And I'll be taking over, I think, next weekend because you got.
I'm out at my brother's getting married. I have a wedding to go to, so kind of can't miss that one. He's flesh and blood. So yeah, I will not be available next Saturday and Sunday. I will try to be available in the Discord when I can.
All the more reason for you guys to join the Discord. So if you haven't joined that Discord, it's in one of the description links down below. But thank you guys, and real quick, George. Yep, I would do that. And your bench does look good. Your bench does look good. But you have a good bench. Kamara on your bench. Kamara's starting. You might want to think about starting him.
Oh, right. He's got to sit him for Pittman.
Oh, right.
You must have like Swift and Eckler or something. Either way.
Swift and Barkley? Yeah.
Yeah, but, right. Maybe. Either way. Whatever.
Yeah, enjoy the slate, the slate of games today.
Enjoy the football, everybody.
Hope everybody wins. I hope everybody wins except for Nemo.
He's playing us. That's why. He's playing us.
And Wes Arroyo, Jeff Wilson, or Corey Davis in the flex. Jeff Wilson this week.
Wilson. Go with the running back who has what I think is a pretty locked-in workload. If there are any last-minute questions that we miss as we shut this down, again, Discord, third link in the description of this video. Evergreen invite. We got about 20 minutes here to go. You can hop in there. You can ask us some questions in there right before the slate. But we appreciate everybody hanging out this afternoon, and good luck.
Yeah, enjoy the games, y'all.
Thanks, everybody.